Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 211, right? I think.
Should be.
Sounds right. Why is my mic cranked up so high? Let's dial it back a little. We are back in the basement. We're going to talk about another week of professional wrestling. Timestamps are available. You can jump to whatever you want because we'll probably start out by talking about some non-wrestling stuff first. As we just returned from beautiful Peterborough, Ontario, about an hour and a half from our place to visit your mother's cousin and family. It's fun for me because it's like going back. It's going back 10 years because basically you guys 10 years ago because they have two boys that are about 3 years apart.
I'm literally, I got 11 years on their oldest.
Right. So, and then they have your favorite dog who is, no offense, he's not the most attractive dog, but he's fun.
He's cute in his own way.
He's a lovable idiot.
He's a funny looking guy. He's the funniest because it's like when the dog gets hyper and like jumps at you at the front door, except he's small and he doesn't hurt you whatsoever. No. So it's just really funny.
And he runs everywhere, but there's no traction on their floors.
He runs around like a mad lad and gets the least amount of traction possible. Like the amount of traction he needs to how much he gets ratio is not okay.
Not great for him.
But he's hilarious and I love him.
Yeah, and the kids are really nice kids. It's a lot of fun there. So we went there for a nice Korean dinner. It was delicious and just got home a little while ago. And we're doing this on Friday night again. What is this, August 2nd? Because I'm off to Burlington. So another hour and a half drive the other direction for your brother's, his final Rep League playoff. So then Rep basketball's done and he's just playing House League basketball because more basketball, I guess, right? So, and football's done. He won the championship for football, flag football. If there were an MVP for the league, he would have got that too because he was ridiculous in that league. But going back to going to Peterborough, one of the reasons we go there is the one of the main drags where our cousins, I guess we can call them our cousins too now, they own a bubble tea shop, right? Milk Tea or Milk and Tea, Milk Plus Tea is the logo. I don't know.
I would say Milk and Tea. Just easy.
So if you're ever in Peterborough, go there. It's delicious. But they also seem to have
They should sponsor us.
They should. On that same
I'd take it.
kind of stretch of
literally across the street is the
Chumley's, which is a really awesome secondhand video game movie.
Yeah, like I've gotten a bunch of games for cheap before. Like I think to keep it wrestling, I got the TNA game there. I got WWE All Stars. I think I got WWE13 for Xbox 360. Today I was looking for the Deadpool game.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find it. And I did look, I think I saw a video after, like apparently it's been scrubbed from digital parts because of licensing, so it's expensive and hard to find.
You did find a Game Boy game there.
We got
that's on the
a Game Boy game.
If you're watching video.
WWF Betrayal, which I think is like a
side scroller
beat 'em up, kind of like Double Dragon-esque.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the premise is Taker kidnaps Stephanie.
Right.
Then I got from Peterborough Walmart. We got Giovanni Vinci.
Yeah, Fabian Eichner.
Formerly
FKA.
Fabian Eichner. You're going to stay? He will stay. And we got a Rollins DVD here, which, because if you know me, you know I'm a Shield boy. And so it's nice. It's one of those like triple disc bullet ones. We got White Rollins in there, which is beautiful. And then it's like a lot of matches I would have expected. Like there's the Shield triple threat.
Of course.
Rollins Reigns from Money in the Bank same year.
Yep.
The Rollins Lesnar Cena triple threat. Rollins Orton from Mania. You know, a bunch of standard stuff and whatnot, like the cash in, some matches with Ambrose and Cena and whatever. But like some of the interesting ones I thought were some FCW matches. We got Rollins versus Hunico, which everyone wants to see, obviously. Rollins versus Ambrose, which I heard their FCW matches were kind of nuts, so that one's actually kind of interesting. And then we got Rollins and Leo Kruger.
Oh yeah, I like Leo Kruger.
Yeah, and then
actually. Like Adam Rose.
There's also Rollins versus Cena from a Madison Square Garden house show in a cage match, so that's at least like something that probably might not even be on the network. Honestly, I don't know.
Leo Kruger was like a PTSD military kind of thing.
I mean, probably would have been better than Adam Rose, but this is decent. I also got an X-Men Blu-ray with some like cool bonus crap, and then some at the pawn shop. They had like these little Star Wars figures, like the kind I would have gotten as a kid for like $5. I got a Darth Maul thing for my shelf, and like
I didn't get any games, but I have picked up some Genesis games there before. I think I got Tournament Edition.
Isn't that where you got the hockey one? I think
I got NHL '96 there, and I got NBA Jam Tournament Edition there.
Right.
And what did I buy? Some super technology.
MP3.
I bought an old iPod Nano because I love them and I
yeah.
use them all the time. I know it's pathetic, but
it is so sad.
So it was $25, man. Can't beat that. It was listed for $39, and he's like, it's been here a while. I can give you $25, no tax. Boom, done. I just have to find one of the old connector cables.
So odd.
Just a backup if my iPod dies. Yes, I still use an iPod, but Anyways, it was a good trip. I had a good time.
To all the wrestling podcasts out there, this man's giving you your views on an iPod.
That's right. iPods in 2024. Let's talk iPods.
If anybody's listening to
Just
this on an iPod, get out.
Still pickleballing a lot.
Get out.
Maybe not as much as I have been, but still going somewhat.
When you're not here in the morning, I just assume that's what you're
That
doing.
I'm at pickleball. That's usually where I'm at. I get up early in the morning to go for a little bit of time. But anyways, anything else you wanted to discuss? We're gonna do the usual, right? We'll talk Dynamite, NXT. I did watch TNA. I'll quickly talk about it. Raw. We'll preview SummerSlam, which is happening tomorrow
Which I didn't
or
forget.
today when we release this. We'll do some trivia along the way, and we'll. I guess we'll get into our first segment now. You think it's about time? All right, so we'll do that. The first thing we do is talk about some of the week's wrestling news and rumors. Okay, so to quickly summarize, ratings for both shows we discussed, bad this week. Because why?
Sport ball.
Correct. What sports? Olympics. Very good. So NXT, 468,000 viewers, down 26.1%. 0.15 in the key demo, down 21.1%. Again, A, up against the Olympics. B, moved to sci-fi for this because of the Olympics. So
Right, that makes sense.
different network always hurts, right? Because people might not know where to find you, and then going against the Olympics is no good. Same thing for Dynamite. There's 609,000 this week, down 22.5%. So similar, both down over 20%, and a 0.18 in the key demo, which is down 30.8%. Olympic coverage again up against, and it's the second lowest demo rating in the history of the show, regardless of what night. So obviously not good, but kind of expected, sort of going against
Yeah, that
Olympics.
makes sense.
I have very little news, 3 things, but go ahead.
Favorite of the channel, Mako Satomura, announced that she's going to retire in April 2025.
Too bad. They could have done more with her. She's awesome.
She has been around since probably that Worlds Collide show where she lost the UK title.
Right.
She just resurfaced, I think, on the Japan House shows. I saw she had a match with Bailey, which they actually put on YouTube, so I might check that out. Just 'cause that sounds good.
She's good, man. They could have done more with her. And yes, a veteran, whatever, but she could still go.
Yeah, they will. Clearly, if she's still going now and like winding it down, they had time to do something with her, but
they didn't.
I hope they maybe bring her to TV for at least like a final run kind of deal.
Right. That would be nice. I don't have much faith.
I don't know if they're going to go back to Japan for even just a house show loop.
So earlier this week, there was news, right, that the July 3rd injury angle on Dynamite to Daniel Garcia was sort of to protect AEW in case, because his contract was up. So I guess that was to sort of cover them if he did leave, or if he decided to sign, it would set up a big return sort of thing. So now it's saying most likely, according to Meltzer and Alvarez, that he will re-sign with AEW. So that sort of makes sense that they cover themselves that way. And I mean, that's great. We like Garcia, but I don't really think they know what to do with him, right? So
no, I like him in ring, and I think he's like good enough, but I don't know. I don't see him as like
me either.
Anything major.
They heat him up for a couple weeks, and then it's back to insignificant.
Yeah, so. I don't know if like just with the amount of people on the roster, I don't know if he's someone I really need to see with the belt or any of the belts. I mean, like even just like.
And it's like he could go to ROH and clean up there, but no one sees you. That is obscurity.
Yeah, like he could take Pure title back, but like, did you even remember he held it?
No,
exactly.
Not really.
Like Moriarty has it right now. I guess he. Can
oh, does he?
Face him.
I just heard that the women's TV title,
Red Velvet.
Red Velvet has that. Congrats, Red Velvet.
And well, I told you the ROH their 16-man tag titles or whatever they call it. Is Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs.
Amazing.
So yeah.
So are Von Erichs signed?
I don't know.
Because I watched them a while within this last year a couple times, and I was not impressed.
You were big in MLW for a while.
I don't know if they were just had a rough performance when I saw them, or they're not good, but they did not look good.
Maybe they're still trying to get the cash in on the movie.
I think that's too far in the rearview mirror now.
I would think so too, but I don't know why else they're there.
I don't either. What do you have?
MVP main appearance at the recent Bloodsport show.
Apparently he's gonna have a match.
Barnett, right? Yeah, he's not hanging up the boots yet. I feel like Lashley should do Bloodsport. It makes sense for him since he actually did MMA.
Yeah,
and also he's not old.
He is. Oh, he's old, dude.
He's not as old.
He's pretty old.
They might be similar.
I don't think he's that much younger than MVP.
It's just he's more able. To be honest, he's more able than MVP, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
I guess, and also. MVP saying he's not done to hang out the boots, that kind of implies WWE were kind of making him a manager because he kind of still wrestled in the Hurt Business, but then I feel like especially lately, he has just been managing
Yeah.
Lashley and then Omos, right?
Right.
Which they gave up on, so maybe that's why MVP's not coming back.
Good decision there.
Yeah, but that does kind of imply kind of like how they wanted to make Cole a manager. Maybe they just
Mhm.
or like kind of how I think it was also with Copeland. He wasn't wrestling as much as he wanted to in WWE. I
But
think.
Cole's
right?
arguably still like prime or just post prime.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying like more so with Copeland, like he wasn't wrestling as much as he wanted to, so maybe that I think that's partially why he left.
Yeah.
And could be same for MVP Lashley, maybe just because they haven't treated him seriously since he lost the title.
And they
like
pulled the plug on the Hurt Business far too soon,
Yeah.
I would say.
And then they kind of did a false reunion.
So, one thing I have is that Joe Hendry is now training full time at the Performance
I saw his
Center,
deal's like unprecedented. He
the
works NXT.
WWE Performance Center.
He
that is.
works TNA, works NXT, trains at the Performance Center, and he still works Indies. Like
So he's
pretty
full
crazy.
time living in Orlando, and I think it's pretty clear at this point they're going to sign him right as
They're
soon
gonna
as,
take him as soon as they can.
as they can because he is
They'll probably butcher it.
he's one of the most over people in NXT right now, even though he's not part of that company. So that's kind of weird. But
It is a weird.
we'll get
time.
to his. He did a concert on NXT this week, so we'll get
Only
to that.
one thing I care about in NXT.
Well, this week's NXT was really good.
I
was really happy with it. We'll get there, but I thought it was really good. I only have one other story
I showed you this
that you already said wasn't news, but I put it in there.
I showed this to you to our great horror is the photo of Shane McMahon and Tony Khan
No, what?
leaking.
No,
There's no universe where this is a good idea
Explain
or something I want.
somebody explain to me where the value is, other than the name McMahon, which at this point, if you're looking to get attention off that name, that's kind of gross, in my opinion. Right? So I don't know what you need him for. I don't know if this is like to spite Vince or what this is about, but
Which would be kind of funny, but
I see no universe where he is contributing anything.
if he's throwing his sweaty crap ass punches on Dynamite, I'm done.
like not an in-ring performer, I don't think.
That's see, I always go to worst case scenario,
which would be
and
that.
That is what that is.
Yeah.
On screen in any capacity is second worst case scenario, and best case scenario is he's just there backstage, but that's still not good.
I don't
too close.
I don't understand. Unless Tony Khan just wanted the attention of saying we had a meeting and that's enough, but like don't sign him. Don't be silly.
Don't do it.
It's
I
not
swear
necessary.
to God.
I'll be like, I feel like as a dad, it's like I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. Like I'm disappointed that this is someone you think is going to contribute anything to your company because he's not. I'm sorry.
Well, didn't he go all megalomaniac last time he tried to book himself in something?
Right. Yeah. What was
Rumble,
wasn't it?
2022,
Yeah, I actually remember that.
Well,
that's wild.
There was the time when he came back at Mania last year and quad a sand.
Right. So yeah, we don't need him anywhere near it.
awesome.
So hopefully this was just like publicity stunt might be too big of a word, but you know what I mean. They both want to get their names in the news cycle for a minute. Definitely mission accomplished. So good for you.
Yeah.
Only other thing I have that you said is not news is Sky Blue broke her ankle pretty badly apparently in a match with Shida.
Oh, yeah, I do remember seeing that.
On
See,
Collision.
I knew that and I forgot.
Match was called off. Blue couldn't continue. She is now going to have surgery for that ankle, so she'll be out. I don't know how long that'll be, but a month and a half at least, probably. So hopefully she heals quickly. She's young. She probably
Disagree.
will.
I don't care how long she takes to heal.
Too bad. She's fine. She's not bad.
Not good.
She's fine.
Hey, Fletcher needs to help her out.
We'll talk about him later today too.
Yeah.
Anything else from
Last
you?
one I was telling you, Britt Baker got suspended, and
Like
I thought it was
she's
kayfabe, but she was suspended for an altercation with MJF and Alicia Atu, who's his girlfriend.
Okay.
She's Canadian. She has like a interview blog,
but he's doing a super American gimmick right now. How dare
she's like Van Vliet, but probably like numerous steps down. But she's still notable enough.
Oh, she's like a wrestling personality. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think she used to. Her thing was Ambi. I think it was a music blog. Yeah, so I think she started out music, but like she's done a lot of wrestling too. Like she had an MJF interview back when he was doing indies, and I think he called her Tits McGee from Whore Island. You know, back in the good old days of MJF.
Yeah.
I think it was pre AEW, but anyways, yeah. So they're together, and so I think the story was that I saw Baker was saying something about MJF in the women's locker room, and she overheard it, and then Baker confronted her about telling MJF, and I guess there's something there, and there's been multiple witnesses. Baker's suspended, but apparently, like I saw like something like a lot of people side with Baker, like it's not. It doesn't seem like she's an asshole or anything. thankfully.
No, I don't
And
think
I
she is,
assume it's
but
probably just partially just protecting MJF, like,
probably.
or not obviously not going to suspend MJF right now.
If there's one guy they're going to protect in that company,
Yeah.
that's the one.
MJF,
Now that
Buck,
Sting's gone.
not
I
even
guess.
Bucks, they suspended the Bucks.
Right.
Maybe like MJF, Omega. No, they suspended him too. I don't know.
MJF is the face of the company.
MJF.
So,
Osprey maybe. I don't
anyways,
know.
hopefully there's nothing major there and everything can be sorted out.
Yeah, I think she can't be gone long. She's expected to wrestle at All In still, and I imagine she would.
Oh
over
yeah,
there.
they're not going to pull the plug on that program. I don't think
Just for
'cause
that,
it's
yeah.
a
Unless
pretty
it's
big
like
story.
something like Punk level,
Right.
like we had last year or something.
Right. Okay, well, I guess we should move into an in-depth review of the first thing we do every week, and that is taking a look at this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. All right, let's talk about some Dynamite. What did it start out with? Oh, yes, it was.
Maxwell Jacob.
It was
Feinstein.
MJF in like a
Super
U.S.
America-
themed red sports jacket.
Super America suit. Yeah, it was something.
Very American.
I
yes.
need to like do have like a stars and stripes suit, and then with the Rex Kwon Do pants.
That'd be nice.
That'd be perfect. Or even just the Rex Kwon Do pants.
I've put an image of Rex Kwon Do in our podcast before.
I
You've
need
mentioned
to find
him
out.
before.
I don't even know what that movie would be on, but
Somewhere, Napoleon Dynamite. It's a classic movie.
yeah, I googled it. I'll double check that later when you're talking. So yeah, MJF came doing like he was mocking the South Carolina people with like a Southern American accent, and he was calling them trailer park trash and telling them to keep their meth addicted mouths shut. Just which is nice. He spoke on the camera, and he bragged about how he single-handedly beat Ospreay with ease. And I mean, single-handedly technically is true because he used the ring single-handedly. So I mean,
True.
the with ease part, sure, but the single-handedly, that's technically not. It depends on how you look at that, I guess.
And I just think it's funny that he's like super American guy, but then comes out and just rips on the American.
I like
crowd.
how he's finding a way to do that.
Yeah.
It's working. It's clever. So I like it. He said he'll walk into enemy territory all in London and beat Ospreay again. I feel like the only place he'll be babyface again is like when they go to his place. That's that tends to be the only time they allow it. Aside from obviously his run last year. Anyways, Ospreay ran down the ring, but MJF bailed out. Ospreay told him to keep running. He said after what MJF said about his family, he'll put him through pain he can't imagine. He says he knows the Yang quote love the American flag like Will loves his flag. He told MJF nobody wants to acknowledge that title because some prick like MJF is holding it. He talked about MJF throwing the international title in the trash like it was a piece of trash. He talked about everyone who's held it like Pac, Cassidy, Moxley, Phoenix, Roddy, and himself. He's saying they all made it like the workhorse title. I'd argue Cassidy did that and Cassidy alone.
Definitely the majority.
Because like Pac,
He did it, and they was
He
going to like
did,
other
but that
companies
just
and
he
stuff.
still felt absentee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the only thing I had really had an issue with is Moxley and Phoenix because Moxley's run was short because the concussion thing in Phoenix's title run was an accident.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
That doesn't work for me. Ospreay said they all performed like their lives were on the line for these people, and I guess the concussion might prove that point. He told MJF he wasn't worthy of holding the international championship. He said MJF doesn't represent the American spirit and American work ethic. He said MJF comes to England for All In, or when he does, Ospreay will restore honor for the international championship. MJF called all the fans disgusting turncoats for supporting Ospreay. He said he lets his actions do the talking, and he'll annihilate Will in front of his crooked teeth countrymen. And he said in South Carolina everybody dies because Archer.
And then Ospreay's in there pointing to his teeth, like my teeth are fine, right? Which was funny.
Yeah. Thoughts?
So I talked about this with you kind of off air. Is that I thought Ospreay did a pretty good job of being in a really hard spot because he's the foreign guy as a babyface
Against the pro America
in
heel.
America with a pro America heel, right? So he has to find
80s
a
Hulk
way
Hogan
to
would
be like,
crazy right now.
you still want to support me, even though this guy's America, right? So I think that's a tough spot
I
for him
think
to
he's
be
doing
in.
well, and it also helps that MJF's able to work that angle where he's like he's crapping on America, but also like under the guise of being pro American. You know what I mean?
Yes, and I think we're about to get to it. I think Fletcher did a even better job than Ospreay did, but I
For
think
sure.
Ospreay was fine. MJF was classic. This is old school heel.
Yeah, I don't have much
MJF,
to say,
right?
but it's just another like quality MJF promo. And heel MJF is just like you know what you're gonna get, and it's just
Yeah.
it's quality.
Yeah, maybe a bit longer. Than me, I'm always like didn't have to be this long, but I thought it was fine.
Yeah, and I don't know if you have to start with the segment, but honestly, it wasn't. I didn't feel it was too long, and it flows right into a match, so I think it kind of works.
Yep.
But I thought they both delivered well, and they both always have great delivery, so that was nice. And I think the build's starting solid so far. I'm hoping things pick up, and we also just not even that he has to be at all in, but I would prefer he is, but he doesn't have to be. We have to address Pac's title shot because he's had squashes on Collision and Dynamite.
The longer it goes, it feels like they might not.
We need to address it because they could just wait till after All In, but I hope they don't.
Will Washington.
This
is a call to you.
I swear they did this with the
Continuity
Bucks because
officer.
I remember the Bucks won a title shot. Remember there was that 4-way at not Dynasty, Wrestle Dream last year,
Right.
and then they were just kind of sitting on it for a while, and then remember it just their title shot randomly got brought up, and they lost the title shot to the Golden Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gross.
Golden Jets. But anyways,
let's hope they don't come back to that either.
They won't. They do something similar. Like they're just gonna drop Pac's title shot for a bit and then bring it up when it's convenient.
Maybe.
Which I hope not, because like Pac.
What about All Out?
I guess, but like really, you do that to Pac when he's so close to a hometown show, unless you're gonna book him in another.
Where's
match.
All Out?
Probably Chicago.
Oh, is it?
But All In's like London.
I know.
Pac's
I just
British.
thought All Out, since it's like the next day or whatever, might be somewhere close.
No, I think they actually moved it back. 'Cause remember last year it was like literally.
I heard it's
after.
like 10 days now or something.
I want to say it's like 2 weeks after or something like that.
Let's see if I can find out where it is in Chicago. Correct.
It's pretty much always been in Chicago. Like because I think it was the second AEW pay per view, and it was kind of like the spiritual successor to All In when All In was in Chicago.
So it's September 7th.
So that's a decent bit of time then. But yeah, because it's been in Chicago every year, obviously, aside from the pandemic one.
August 25th to September 7th is the gap in between. Bit longer than last year.
Yeah, so it should be okay. But yeah, I hope Pac gets in there just because it doesn't feel like he is.
And he's Pac. He's amazing.
Just give him like
the best.
Give him a decent match on the show then. I don't know who you can put him against, but like Pac deserves to get on the show. Yeah, like I don't know, something.
Sorry, Mortos,
whatever. Ospreay versus Archer is coming right in. Ospreay connects with that handspring corkscrew.
As we always say, get Archer off the shelf, dust him off.
Yeah.
Throw him in a match.
Dusted him off for a better one than whatever his last match was. I don't remember what his last match was, but I wasn't impressed. That's all I remember.
Yeah. He looked good here.
Who did he face? It might have been Swerve.
Might have been.
I want to say it was Swerve, but I honestly don't know. Just feels like you know what I mean? Just makes sense. Because like it's not like you could even just say it was like, oh, Castillo. If Castillo was international champion, I would easily have bet my money on that. But it's not even like we're in that era.
No.
Anyways, big body slam on the floor from Archer. Ospreay goes to the top turnbuckle. Archer goozles him, and he hits like a overhead choke slam.
Yeah.
I remember Taker did that, I think, in 2008 in the chamber match when MVP's on the top of the pod and Taker's on the top rope. So it's like he did like a super one, but this was like similar idea.
Mm-hmm.
Archer counted and Oz cut into a Bossman slam for 2, which was pretty clean. Really like fast, impactful, kind of like whiplash on the pop-up spinebuster from Archer for 2, which was pretty solid.
Yeah, he looked pretty vicious here.
Yeah, standing Spanish fly from Ospreay. Archer went for a super choke slam. Ospreay counter hit an avalanche Spanish fly for 2. Oz Cutter gets another 2. Ospreay went for a hidden blade. Archer clocked him with a lariat for 2. And Ospreay does the flat out sell really good, just like gets absolutely clocked.
Inside out.
Mm-hmm. Ospreay countered the blackout into a DDT. Then he hit a hidden blade for a 1 count, which is surprising. And then Ospreay wins with a second hidden blade.
Elbow pad down. More effective on the second one.
That's also the difference between the Takeshita's power drive knee and the Wagamama.
Who I told you, John Pollock, who of Post Wrestling, who I respect immensely, says that Takeshita is the number one star.
I don't know how his points are looking,
G1,
but give him the win.
Just apparently the consistent, excellent matches as he tends to do.
Well, if you have half a brain, that's no surprise.
But anyway, speaking of this particular match, I thought like out of context, right? This is a pretty entertaining opener. I thought nice contrast to styles. You've got like the monster and the sort of high flyer kind of idea. So that was cool. But then in context, I don't feel like Ospreay as a top tier main eventer, face of the company, basically should take this like much offense and should go this long with a guy that is never seen and never wins.
Yeah.
So if I just ignore that, I kind of enjoyed the match. I thought Archer looked like Ospreay gave him a lot, right, of high impact stuff. But should that
Probably
be this competitive?
Not.
So
they just dust off Archer for.
I enjoyed it. The crowd got into it. So
Archer should go to ROH.
We were saying he should go to TNA.
Oh yeah, I guess
he'd fit there nicely.
That's what we were saying, yeah. Because
Yeah.
if they keep him signed, send him to ROH.
He's a
But
good big man, and he could have a good run there.
he would kill in TNA for
Yeah.
sure. Oh yeah, pretty good opener. Ospreay doesn't disappoint once again, and a good showing for Archer. Because I feel like Archer's looked lackluster sometimes. He's kind of hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
But he looked good here. Donovan,
did.
he looked vicious. In spite of the stop-start booking they always give him. So I liked it. Ospreay got the win as expected, and it was a quality opener. Then after the match, MJF attacked him and hit a brainbuster. Fletcher runs down and makes a save.
In a crop top and a fresh arm tattoo, right?
Yeah, the sleeve is new
Yeah.
for sure.
It was still shiny, like it has the initial balm on it or whatever it is.
Yeah. Fletcher tells Don, or he grabs the mic. He tells Don he knows Ospreay's business isn't theirs anymore, but that's his brother, and he's laying in a heap because of MJF. He says he won't let MJF injure anyone he wants with no repercussion. He says he's MJF's karma coming to bite him in the ass. He said he heard everything MJF said about America. And he says MJF only cares about himself. And he heard what MJF said about foreign wrestlers like them. And he said he dreamt of coming here to wrestle because this is where the best wrestle, which seems to be the AEW mantra as of late.
Yeah.
He says this country gave him his dream car, dream girl, and his dream home, and he's grateful. He says he speaks for everyone when he says we're sick of MJF's crap, and he tells MJF to come down so he can punch him a few more times. And then MJF does the thing where he's like he's taking his stuff off,
yeah,
he's
getting
gonna fight,
ready.
and he says
Nope.
no. He says they'll do things on his time, and he says they'll face off next week. He says if he thought Wembley last year was bad, which I actually forgot about, the Aussie Open got bitched out by the kangaroo kick.
Right. That's where it came from.
That is where it came from. Yeah,
The genesis of the kangaroo kick. Hooray!
If he thought Wembley last year was bad, he has another thing coming, and he'll kangaroo kick his face off. He said he'll break his neck like he did to Garcia, and Ospreay will be to blame. He can't wait to see the look on Ospreay's face when he dismantles his boy, and you can thank him later.
Sorry. Fletcher crushed this, I thought.
Fletcher killed
Like,
it.
I think this was super important. A, it puts him in the orbit of MJF and Ospreay immediately. And B, we know he's awesome in the ring. We know he's like a pretty big guy now, stature-wise. And he sounded awesome here. He, I think, did a better job of being in that, like I said, of that awkward spot of, like, I'm not American, but I grew up wanting to come here all the time, and I don't take it.
That American dream.
I don't take it for granted, and this guy is like making a mockery of it, right? So I thought he did a great job here, and he's kind of the total package, right? So if they, not Lex Luger, way better than that, but if they really want to push this guy to the moon, I think they can.
I think that's why I like Callis family. Like him and Takeshita are future guys if they play their cards right.
So that was my only question to you. Does this put Callis in a weird spot where like his people keep going babyface and he's like a super heel? Little bug flying around me.
I know. I saw it. Yeah, I feel like
he's just standing there, right?
I feel like Takeshita stays with him, obviously.
Yeah.
But I feel like this was always gonna happen because I feel like Fletcher, you tag him with Ospreay, bring Davis back, and you bring in United Empire.
I'm all for that.
So
I would love if they add Pac too.
Nope, that's not. Nope, we need Death Rhombus, and he's integral to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I suppose
can't do that. But yeah, like I feel like I expected him to join Ospreay anyways. I feel like this is kind of starting to breadcrumb that, as we've already kind of seen.
Yeah.
But like him
sounded great.
Him coming to help Ospreay when Callis is kind of like staying away from Ospreay that's kind of another step to that.
It's like, this is my best friend. He's saying, right?
Post-match stuff was good. I thought Fletcher really killed it. He was confident and fired up, and he sounded great. And like you said, playing a babyface in a tough spot, and he nailed it. I'm glad he gets the benefit from the MJF Ospreay feud. Even if he loses next week, it should be a great match, as I'd expect from Fletcher, and it's a good rub for him. And I'm glad he's sticking by Ospreay as expected. I can't imagine he's with Callis much longer. But yeah, this kind of
look like
establishes him as like a total package for sure, like you said, because we haven't seen a ton of his promo work. Like I feel like he has shown out in some
best
promos,
promo for
but,
sure.
Like, this is a longer one for him, I feel like, and
really directed at the top guy, right?
Yeah.
Basically, regardless of what belt he has, MJF is like the guy, pretty much. I would say. So yeah, he was great here. I think
been buying Fletcher as a top guy more than Garcia.
This helped him out a lot, easily.
Plus,
his style is so fun to watch.
I just love Fletcher. I will always love I love the corner kick brainbuster combo he does. It just looks so good.
His style's
like
great.
He just comes in with like, and
I
then
love it.
His Michinoku is really good because he gets jump on out of the tombstone, and I really like. I don't know what he calls it, but the finisher, it's like the front facing kneeling tombstone. Remember? It's like you lift him up for a pile driver, and you drop on. It looks pretty sweet. Yeah. Anyways, love Fletcher. Then we got Swerve highlight package, which looked like just like It was highlights of matches during his title run, and then some previous soundbites from him in commentary. Like I don't think it was anything new. Like it was cool for Swerve, but
It was cool
I don't think it was anything new.
at the time. I was nervous that this was like we're checking the box if we got the champion because I get a
Yeah.
little defensive about Swerve's presentation.
They saved
right?
it though. I think
because I
they
loved
saved
him
it.
so much. So at the time, I was nervous this was going to be his only presence on the show, and it wasn't. So
No, they saved it. For
it
sure.
was a cool little package. Yeah,
learning tree interview.
Bill has cake. That's my note.
Large Bill has a cake. He said a dumb line about Fruits of Labor. Cake for Jericho because he's hit 102 days as champ. Jericho says hi guys. Talks about his title run. Never been a cake in wrestling that hasn't been smashed.
Right.
But that won't happen tonight. Foreshadow. It actually didn't. He'll smash Shibata's face. Bad Apple gonna fight Shibata next week. Shibata needs to respect Jericho or something probably. Bill and Jericho leave. Marvez needs to respect Jericho, so he should eat the cake. I said, I don't like this. Please stop making me watch it. I don't have anything new to say.
It's just like annoying mid card stuff that
I just hate it.
it's just kind of
I hate
there. Do you know what I mean? It's like when the few
bad.
times we watch wrestling live and you're just stuck watching the commercials and you're like, they're there. I understand that the commercial's happening, but I'm not really engaging in it.
I hate it so much.
So
It's the new Outcast.
Do you think like what's the end game? Does Hook get the title back?
I don't
And
care.
if so, like hurry up and let's go.
I don't care.
Because I don't see legs on this gimmick at this point.
It never had any. And I genuinely don't believe there's an outcome that helps Hook. Because at best, he comes out the same. FTW champion, which means nothing. At worst, he's
And beating
lost,
Jericho, which doesn't.
which he's already done.
He's already done convincingly.
I was there. We were
So
there.
me too.
But like
I was there. You were there?
I was there.
That's crazy.
But like, and then worst case scenario, he comes out of this having wasted his time and lost the fake belt that means nothing.
Right.
Like, there's no one benefits from this. I think Big Cass, Big Bill, whatever.
No.
He's looked dumber ever since this.
He-
I actually didn't mind
gets on
him.
TV all the time, but
I thought Big Bill and Starks were solid.
yeah,
Keith, I actually thought he was really cool, but then ever since he joined this, I actually hate him.
he's
Like
been
the bad apple
reduced-
thing, I hate him.
He's been reduced to like what they did to Farouk, where when he was just going, damn, right? He's this one note guy now.
Also, it doesn't help that they're the same people of color.
Also, all he does is come in and say, you need to respect Chris Jericho. And it's now week after week
It's
after
so annoying.
week.
He's the biggest kiss ass, and like
Not
he's
good.
not the bounty hunter anymore. Like it was again, he was cool, he was interesting, he was unique.
Even though he was never winning, we're like, he's cool.
I just don't want to see him,
Yeah.
and that's all their fault because the gimmicks killed him and Cass for me.
All right, that gimmick's gotten enough of our time.
Yeah,
Move on.
agreed. Next we get Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander in a CMLL Women's World Championship Eliminator. And I said,
Guess
what,
in hindsight, Stat should have just asked for a title match. 'cause-
Honestly. what nice heels they wanted to earn their title shot versus
Right?
Statlander and Stoke.
Yes.
Diving shotgun dropkick from
Honorable
Statlander.
heels.
Yeah. Fisherman suplex from Willow for 2. Spinebuster from Willow for 2. Statlander drops Willow face first from an electric chair. She falls to the scissor kick for 2, which she's been doing like semi-regularly.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess she's got big legs. It works for her.
Yep.
Death Valley driver on the apron from Willow. Statlander with a 450 splash for a near fall. Finish comes when Stokely hands Statlander a chain secretly. Lane distracts the ref so Statlander can hit a discus lariat with the chain, which I would have gone punch, but sure.
Sure.
And she gets the win. They beat up Willow after. And Statlander takes out some security. And then they pose.
Yeah. So how many times have Statlander and Willow fought now?
This is the second one.
Second
As
one?
I expected, because then now their title match is a tiebreaker, and then you end the feud.
So I thought this was weird because the action was solid and everything, and the match was good, but like it felt like there was no real story or heat when they're supposed to
It
be.
did feel like a
tons.
pretty bland match.
It felt
yeah.
like they'd stuffed all that in a sack, and it was just like two people having an eliminator match, not like they were best friends and there was betrayal and they've had a match. So
Yeah.
I kind of
They didn't
feel,
really take advantage of the story that was there.
I feel like they wasted a blood feud match as an eliminator on Dynamite.
I feel like
Like adding these stakes took away from it instead of adding anything.
the Eliminator, yeah, it's unnecessary because I agree. This match didn't feel as heated as it should. Like, the action was solid, and I think it was, like,
They're
still
both good.
a pretty
so-
good match.
Yeah, me too.
But it lacked the
vibe,
heat.
if
It
you
lacked
will.
the heat that it should have had.
yes,
And then also, I think, like, just the Eliminator is unnecessary because it's only here because just to pad out the record. Literally
Yeah.
because I think they want to do the 1-to-1 record thing because now Willow won the tournament match with
Yeah,
Owen,
that's right.
and
You got the
now
rubber
Statlander, like
match.
I think that's literally all it is. Instead of having Statlander ask for a title shot, which would make more sense from their point of
And
view.
she won. She would have the belt now.
Yeah. So
And I also, to further nitpick, the part outside the ring where Willow was dealing with Hathaway, she looks stupid because she was doing it for so long. Like, what do you think's going to
Yeah.
happen, right? So, decent action, two good wrestlers, but the match felt weird to me.
yeah, I hope we'll get a good rubber match on the bigger stage, preferably All In, because I could see this being pushed to All Out. I would just like again, like I've been saying, the triple header of women's
Yeah.
matches on All In would be really cool. And then like you could do rematches on All Out. I don't care if that ends up being a rematch show somewhat. But yeah, like they definitely could do better. And yeah, this one did feel weird. I was surprised Statlander actually won because I figured she would. Because like I said, I feel like this existed purely as to set up a rubber match
Yeah.
instead of the All In match or the wherever it's gonna be, the title match being just like a rematch. It's like now it's the
blow off,
the tiebreaker, right? Yeah, the blow off. But it was surprising still because just no one wins Eliminators. Like the Acclaim did recently, obviously, which was that one was good.
Yeah.
But it still feels like no one does just because it's so rare.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just feels like a
precedent set now.
Yeah, it just feels like a thing they tack on to matches to give it like alleged stakes, but it's really nothing because like no one wins them. Even Takeshita didn't win his. That was bull.
Crazy.
That was bull. Anyways, I feel like that should make it All In, or I guess like All Out is the adequate consolation. But again, I feel like they deserve All In. And I think it'd be really cool. Then we hear from Bryan Danielson. He spoke about how he's been lucky because he was able to come back from his career-ending injury, and the last 3 years in AEW have been incredible and some of the funnest in his career. He said he was able to be present behind the curtain. He was able to be present when the fans were chanting yes for him. He said he promised his daughter when she turns 7, he's going to stop wrestling full time. And he spoke about how the contract he signed with AEW ends tomorrow, and he promised his family it would be the last one he signs. So I guess he'll be working like Handshake, I guess, until All In, which won't be that long.
No.
He talked about every time he stepped in the ring, he would give his all for the fans and for himself. He said he was going to kick people's heads in and win the AEW World Title. He said he's kicked a lot of heads in, but he hasn't won the World Title yet. And he said this will be his last shot, and it will be at AEW's biggest show of the year at obviously Wembley and All In. He said the doctors are telling him not to wrestle, and his family doesn't want him to wrestle, but he said he'll be present at Wembley and he'll give 100%. He said with his body, his mind, his soul, and he will go all in at All In, which is what he was saying to good old Jeff Jarrett, pure babyface Jeff Jarrett.
That's right.
Swerve and Nana came out to join him. Swerve said he respects Bryan, and he inspired a whole generation of wrestlers to pursue their dreams, including Swerve. And if it were any other time, he would want Bryan to have his moment All In. But he said it's his time, and he's one of a kind. He said in 10 years from now, people will want to press rewind. He said maybe Bryan wasn't able to handle it when his opponents kicked back, which I guess is concussion reference. He said it's not an achievement award. He said the belt shows you're best in the world, and he is the best in the world. Then he was kind of talking about how Bryan lost Ospreay when Swerve beat him. He said Bryan lost to the Elite and Swerve beat them, which, yeah, I like that.
All fair.
And all recent, too.
Yeah.
He said last year he could be at All In while Bryan was too broken to get on a flight to London, which was weird because I remember he was Punk's replacement against Starks. Which maybe is why he was like not on All In, because if he was healthy, he probably would have wrestled All In. But I guess because he was the replacement in the strap match. He said he knows Bryan likes to be in the moment. He told Bryan that he promised him he's the most dangerous man in AEW, and he promised him he would not be walking out of All In as champion. He said Bryan may not walk again after he's done. Danielson said he had one more promise, and he's going to put his career on the line, and he won't wrestle again if he doesn't win the title. And Swerve shook his hand and said, "Don't keep the promise to me, keep it to your family." And the one thing I thought that was funny from early in the promo was Danielson said, because he said, "My wife and I got our engagement pictures taken here in Greenfield." And as all commentary, she's like, "Why?" It felt unnecessarily mean to Greenfield. Like, it was just so random. It was really funny.
So obviously this is a pretty huge stipulation for this match. Really good, like honest, earnest babyface promo from Danielson here. Does it telegraph the match now?
I can't decide if it does.
I want to say yes, but then I'm like, not necessarily. Like, because he's always said, the only reason I think maybe is because he's always said, I'll retire from being a full-time wrestler. And now the language was, I'll never wrestle again.
Yeah, I did notice that was different.
So that's, so again, from the world of poker and gambling in general, it kind of a dumb babyface move to volunteer for what's called a negative free roll, right? Where you can only lose something, but you don't gain anything.
Yes,
Because he
I
already
guess
had
so.
the title match. But
He was also already retiring, so
I think the story is that he needs that to motivate himself. Do you know what I mean? That will
I
give
think
him
so.
the
It works for him,
extra
right?
whatever he needs. And it allows Swerve, I think, to feel like maybe he's manipulated Danielson into making this dumb bet.
It does. He was kind of goading him.
And so I think in this, Swerve was put in a tough spot too, because he's a babyface, but
You can't out
Danielson's like,
babyface Danielson,
right, especially when
especially
he's
when
going, my career's on the line.
and when Swerve has a history of playing a great heel.
So I think during this match that Swerve's going to have to go like work heelish, which is my preference.
That's totally fine.
So I thought Swerve did a really good job here, showed some good fire, made some good points about Danielson's record. A good exchange here. I like this. Again,
I like the
could have been a bit shorter, probably, but that's me with most segments. So,
oh yeah, solid promo from Danielson. Very, very babyface as he's winding things down, and it was kind of panderish, but like I don't hate it, and he does make it feel real. Like
he
and a lot
does.
of it
He's
is
very
real for him.
believable as like loving the fans and what he does.
Yeah, it works. I always find it interesting how in kayfabe he wants to win the world title. And he's been after it forever, but then and it's his last shot. And then in real life, he's like, we know he doesn't want the title. Like he's never wanted it. So I find it like as an interesting kind of.
That's the other thing. He's
duality.
not a guy that's like, I must have it before I retire.
Yeah,
it's more like other people will want him to have
like
it.
It reminds me of how Tommy Dreamer never wanted to win the ECW title.
Yeah,
obviously circumstances. I think he ended up winning it because there's the whole Mike Awesome.
I think Danielson's just secure in his legacy, right? Which is so freaking rare in that industry. Like he is okay with everything he's done already. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
and I think even if you look at his AEW run, it's been great. It is just kind of on top of everything he's already done, though, right? So,
my God, this little bug is so annoying. I can't catch him.
It's like a little it looks like a fruit
little
fly
fruit fly or something.
But anyways, yeah, Swerve was great too. I thought he brought back that killer edge a bit, just because he had some really good digs at Danielson.
Yeah, I liked it.
Both like referring to real life history and even just recent kayfabe history. And
so close.
I was gonna in like their Osprey matches and obviously their efforts against the Elite. So I like that even just like the recent history comparison, which works for if you're even like a recent AEW fan, like it's
all true.
Could have seen that and like that. Even that's like kind of a feather in Swerve's cap a bit.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Danielson putting his career on the line isn't surprising. I'm a little surprised it sounds like a full retirement. Like you said, the language is definitely shifted, right?
Yes.
And so I don't know whether it telegraphs a win or a loss for Danielson to me. To me, it sounds like he'll lose, but I can't even say for sure.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'll be thinking about it.
I mean, if you think about it like as this is the last contract he's signed, is he really going to be working champion without a contract?
It's the whole never wrestle again.
But
because that's not his plan. His plan is to not be full time.
And I feel if he has the title, he's not going to hold it long.
No, I don't think so. Because he said he's going to be retired when his daughter turns 7, right? Whenever that is.
I'd Google it, but I feel like that's weird.
Anyways.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards a loss for him, but like honestly, it's a little. Hopefully, it'll be cleared up.
I don't mind if it's not clear. I like not knowing.
But I'd like to be able to pick it.
I don't care. I'd rather not know and be wrong picking than be positive about everything.
Then we had Jarrett and Danielson backstage. Danielson's all like serious and fired up, and he's gonna fight Jarrett next week. And now Jarrett's whole group is babyface.
Right.
Karen Jarrett is a babyface
by association.
Karen Jarrett.
Yep.
Karen.
Yep.
Jarrett, formerly Karen Angle or something.
That's correct.
Yeah, Karen Jarrett. Jay Lethal, that's fine. I like Jay Lethal. Sanjay Dutt though, nah.
No,
I don't even like Satnam Singh. Give up. We should give up on him too. Why are we only giving up on Omos? That's
we get
not
Danielson
fair.
and Jarrett next week, and no one cares.
I want Danielson and Satnam again.
Sure.
Yeah, wait, wasn't Danielson face Satnam and then wasn't there DQ and Jarrett guitarred him?
I don't know.
And Jarrett was a heel?
Maybe.
So
I know Jarrett was a heel. Too much talk about Jeff Jarrett. Don't care.
Then we get the conglomeration against Roddy Strong, Roosh, and Black Taurus, or the Beast Mordos.
White Taurus.
Yeah. His mask is crazy. I love it so much. Briscoe and Ishii brawl with Roosh and Strong, while Cassie plays Matador with Mordos.
I didn't love that because he looked stupid. And you also pointed out this was like lucha rules for the first bit. It was just dudes coming in the ring, and like the one for sure, Roosh just comes in the ring after someone got
Although
thrown
to be
out.
fair,
and
I do
away
remember
they
the
go.
ref saying you're not legal, so I guess the ref was at least kind of
Stop, or I'll say stop again. Super effective.
that is all he did. At least he was like, the ref's like acknowledging
Yeah.
and just kind of like making you know what I'm saying. There was a crazy tilt roll head scissors from Cassidy, which is too bad. He like kind of faltered at the end, but like
It
the
did. He
rotations were
slipped
really
off,
fast.
and then they both sort of just.
Yeah.
It was a minor.
Then Mordos like absolutely checked him with a spear, like
Yeah.
just boosh.
Everything Mordos does looks crazy.
Yeah, I like calling him Tarus. It's just
I know.
cooler.
I'm trying. Mordos is catching on with me a
It's
little.
not like
I actually wrote it, so
I wrote it because I wrote it the first time. I was like,
That's
I should
rare.
get used to it.
Yeah.
And it's not because it's not like a bad name. Like I think it's totally fine.
Yeah. It's just
I just don't
he's
like it as
Taurus.
much. Yeah, I like Black Taurus. And again, it's like Roosh, where I was saying Taurus, and then that's like it's Taurus and Roosh, and it's just damn luchadors. Blockbuster from the apron, too strong from Briscoe. Then he did the thing where like he steps off a chair, not over the ropes. This is like the one he did before. I think he did it at Dynasty, where he like the chair's on the apron. He comes over the turnbuckles.
Yeah.
And he took out Roddy and Roosh and Mordos. Briscoe gets a hot take flurry, redneck kung fu. Ishii later on with some German suplexes for all. Triple DT from Cassie, Froggy Bow from Briscoe, and a sliding layer from Ishii, all on Roddy for 2, with the other heels
I
breaking the
believe
pin.
it's called the sliding D. Don't know why.
Don't know either.
Me either.
These nuts got him.
Mhm.
Olympic slam and a tiger bomb to Ishii from Roddy for 2. There's
That's
a flurry.
illegal. Could kill someone.
That's a tiger driver. There's a
Oh,
different
sorry. That's true.
flurry of stuff where everyone's doing something. And the finish comes when Mordos gets the win on Briscoe with the
What?
Destination Hellhole, which is awesome.
Which is awesome.
But-
is it Chuck Taylor similar?
Awful.
Yeah.
Kind of, I feel like.
It looks awesome.
And there's
I
it's
love
the
it.
Omega driver.
It's funny
in
because you were
2K.
just talking about it and then he hit it.
Yeah.
Remember, you had like seconds before.
Yeah.
We're like, what is it? Destination Hellhole? And I'm like, yeah, that
Because I knew what
movie's
it was,
sick.
but I couldn't remember what it was called. It was either him or Brody King.
It looks awesome.
But yeah,
Happy for
Taurus
Mordos, man.
actually with the win.
I've loved him for years.
I feel like I'm gonna be flip flopping his name right now.
So this might end up with him getting challenging for the Ring of Honor title, right? He just pinned Briscoe, so
likely.
why not? I thought like Ishii no selling everything was a bit annoying. For
I
me.
agree. It got a little much, but
But I thought this was a really fun, if not maybe pointless match. Didn't really follow tag rules, but was like that fun AEW trios match in the middle of a show, right? And I love Mortos and Roosh, so I'm always happy for them to get TV time, especially when Mortos is getting a pin, right? And in the moment, I was like, they could work as a tag team if they don't have anything else to do,
I would like Taurus as the Callous Monster.
right? And Roosh is already like a super mega heel, so he could just have this monster by his side who carries out his dirty work, sort of thing. Anyways, cool finisher. I don't think it was a top tier trios match in AEW, but I thought it was fun,
Yeah.
man. I enjoyed it.
It was a fun one. I wish we had O'Reilly instead of Ishii because not no selling, and then also I love O'Reilly.
Yeah.
But it was still fun. I liked it, and I wish Taurus got to showcase more of his crazy stuff because he wasn't as on display as usual, but he was still cool and he got the win. A little too much no selling from Ishii as well, but a minor nitpick. Things picked up towards the ending like they usually do, and surprising, Taurus picked up the win, which was awesome.
With a sick move.
I hope they start doing more with him because he's insane. Should have also gotten a Briscoe promo before the match, but I digress. I'm still enjoying the conglomeration.
Yep.
It's a fun little thing going on.
I think they kind of didn't know how that was going to go, and it's sort of over-delivered for them.
For sure. Let me get a clean promo. Caster says they're looking for FTR, but they're nowhere to be found. He says they're scared of the best wrestler alive, and the Acclaimed, but everyone loves the Acclaimed and the best wrestler alive. He says FTR said he's not a serious wrestler, but because he makes raps and music videos, but he's the best wrestler alive, and he doesn't think they're serious because they don't show up. Bowen says they won't man up to what they said, so they'll come to FTR on Collision. He says everyone loves the Acclaimed and the best wrestler alive, and it's time to nut up or shut up. And I said take a drink every time Caster said best wrestler alive. I feel like we're setting up a 3-way tag at All In, which works because I feel like Bucks Acclaimed is like it would be good, but it's not the most interesting to me.
No.
And FTR Bucks, we had it All In last year, so you can't rerun that.
No. Kind of a meaningful Collision promo, but
Meaningful or meaningless?
I was pointing meaningless just because I won't watch Collision.
Okay, you said
That's
meaningful.
all. Sorry, yeah.
Just making sure.
And Caster I told you, is giving himself a lot of nicknames for himself
What
that
do you say? Oh, the Blood and Guts MVP
that
too.
clearly exclude Bowen. So greatest wrestler alive, Blood and Guts MVP. I feel like this is maybe
Best wrestler alive. That's the trademark. All right.
breadcrumbing Bowens being a face
I
and
could see it.
Caster being a heel. And I think that's fine because this tag team, as hot as they were, like what, a year ago or less,
2 years.
is
at least.
kind of run its course
They're
a
still
bit.
over when they come out, but it's definitely not at their peak. And
No,
I do think it's worth exploring their solo work because
I think
Caster
Bowens
could be an
has a
effective
shot.
heel, and I think Bowens in ring is really good.
Me too.
For what we've seen. So I do worry a little about each of them because I feel like Bowens is good. Bowens I'm less worried about because Caster has a great entrance stick and he's decent in ring, but I don't know. It's just like it's always when the tag splits up, you don't know how it's gonna shake out.
Caster
but
just feels increasingly heelish to me a little
a
bit.
little bit. But they also seem on the same page here, so it could just be a breadcrumb.
Yeah,
for
Bowens
sure.
didn't seem to be
Mhm.
didn't give any looks or anything, but I think we could get to that point,
Mhm.
right?
Then we get a Renee sit down interview with Mariah May, which I wish was more in depth at least, just because
not 90 seconds long. It was super
Yeah.
short.
Because like the JR ones are really good. I would have liked that maybe.
This was I feel like this
Still
was like
good.
part 1 of 3 or something.
Yeah, still good, but I actually went back to find out on Instagram just so I could get the exact verbiage down.
I know I sliced her open and wore her skin is
yeah.
one line I wrote
That
down
one I
'cause
remembered.
thought it was awesome.
Yeah, May asked what more she had to explain. She loves Storm, and she said something like, "Oh yeah, she sliced her open and wore her skin."
Awesome.
Which is just nasty. She said Storm never did anything to her, and that's why she was perfect. She said Storm always said this business would eat you alive, and it was her time
Like
to
you
eat.
should have seen this coming. I've been saying this
And
is what I'm doing.
It was her time to eat, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I love this. Her word choice and her delivery was amazing. She just sounds menacing and like a little crazy too.
I put like
whatever
a
she's doing is great.
diabolical psychopath kind
Yeah,
of thing.
she sounds psychotic.
And
for
even
sure.
did you notice at the end as she leans forward in her seat, Renee is like uncomfortable and leans back, which I thought was a nice touch from her as well.
Yeah, this is great.
Super, super short, but I thought effective as like May is this like calculating diabolical heel
And Storm's a joke.
and doesn't feel remorse for anything. So
Mhm. Then we have Storm speaking on the stage real quick. She wasn't saying much. She said something about like letting what you love kill you. She said she loves May still. And
I
whatever,
wonder if
like,
it's an allusion to something we're not getting. Do you know
probably
what I
some
mean?
old movie thing. But like, who would know that?
Agree.
She is crazy like May, but in a way that feels not real or menacing. It feels kind of like a joke. The difference between her and May is night and day, and I fear it won't be as invested as it could be if Storm can't get kind of serious in this.
This is what I've been saying, right? That Mariah May does this like kind of serious, cool thing, and then it's like the melodramatic.
Storm is just too much here. It just doesn't work.
It is too much.
It takes me out of it. Like May feels she's smart, she's calculated, she's crazy, and then Storm just feels like a caricature.
This is what we've said when Storm has to interact with serious people,
which has been the case with like
it's
Peraza and
awkward.
Deeb, but now that like it's a bigger feud and May's doing
Yes.
better than them,
Yes.
it's all arguably shining more of a spotlight on the shortcomings of the Storm character.
Yes, I agree.
And then I feel like the feud suffers as a result. I'm still into it, but it's largely, if not completely, because
I will
of
be
May.
very disappointed if May doesn't take.
I'll
the
be
title.
angry if she doesn't win.
Yeah.
For sure. Next we got Camille versus Brittany freaking Jade. Finally, she comes to AEW.
That's right.
Brittany Jade, everybody.
Finally making her debut.
Camille hit this running leg drop that kind of reminded me of the Rough Rider or the Radio Silence. That's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what it looked like.
It did.
To me. That's the only way I can really describe it. Like kind of
Yeah.
like the front, like famous or
I
kind
was
of
kind
deal.
of like, whoa, what's that? For a second.
It's basically like Cardona's move. I
Yeah.
think. Pump kick from Camille.
He'll come up later.
Shades of Jade Cargo with the big lady hitting a pump kick. And then she hit her version of Rochambeau for the win. Starks does it better, let's be real, but it was still fine. Monet she told Greenville to say hello to your CEO. She introduces us to Camille. She says she's been victimized by Baker not for 2 weeks, just for weeks. And she's tried to be diplomatic, but Baker has taken things too far. And it's like she's obsessed, but she's like, who isn't? She says Baker may have her match at All In, but she's been suspended by the EVPs, which I thought was kayfabe,
Right.
but
Sound what you would think that, yes.
honestly, the news story didn't come out. I wouldn't have bat an eye. And she has Camille and Baker can't break down this brick house. That was kind of cool. She says nobody cares that Baker built this house because now it's hers and she's going to turn it into a mansion. She says Baker losing her at All In will be the best thing for her career because money changes everything.
Nice. So obviously just a squash to establish Camille as a force, which I think was pretty effective. She looked pretty intense.
It was
in
effective.
This.
I think it was definitely good for people who haven't seen Camille, and I honestly probably haven't really, because that would mean I watched NWA, and let's be
She's
real,
not
that's not happening.
amazing, but she's impressive because she is big and strong, right?
She's the only, like, she's probably the best one from the crop that NWA has.
And the combination of like flamboyant, mouthy Monet and then stoic, silent monster Camille, I think is really good.
She kind of played a similar role, did she not, with the Aldous faction?
Yes,
I
she
believe.
was the strong, silent type. And then I thought
Very
Monet sounded
China-esque.
pretty good after the squash. Like she can just get bolder and more
Her
arrogant
delivery,
now.
turning
'cause
heel
she
has
has
done
support.
wonders for
Oh
her
my God.
delivery.
So
Like,
she-
actually, because we had her on, like, question mark for worst promo.
Yeah,
And I took her off because I feel like as a heel, it's much better.
way better.
Like, it actually does work.
and she
now.
and Britt have some time to build this into a really
Yeah, for
nice
sure.
feud, right? So yeah,
I think it's already started pretty well.
thought
so.
she was Monet sounded
Mhm.
pretty good here.
Camille looked solid. Monet sounded good. And so much better as a heel. And I think her dynamic with Camille has been nicely established. So I
Mhm.
like that. Then we go to our main event, which is a surprising first time match between Hangman and Darby.
Yeah,
I'm surprised we've never done this before, but the timing's perfect with angry Hangman and Darby, who doesn't care what happens to him.
and they get things going fast
Mhm.
right away in this.
Worth noting, Darby won the Royal Rampage last week, the 2-ring thing. So he faces whoever wins the All in World title match at Grand Slam.
Which I feel like kind of telegraphed this match a bit, but they protected Hangman with the finish. I
Darby
think.
loses whenever.
I don't think he's losing ahead of a title shot on TV.
Well, he's got 2 title shots. He's also facing Perry at All In,
True.
which I feel like he doesn't win that then.
That's probably true.
But back to my point was, I feel like him being next in line kind of indicates Swerve wins because they have history.
It would make more sense for him and Swerve. For
Also,
sure.
because I really don't think Danielson needs to win it,
no,
and like
but then he never wrestles again.
I feel like he's okay with that, and I
Maybe.
feel like, I mean, as much as it sucks, I'm weirdly okay with that as well.
Not me.
I know, I know. And then Pac retires. And,
Nope. Then I
and
just quit.
yeah. Hangman caught Darby's attempt at a coffin drop to the outside and hit a German suplex on the floor, which is pretty nice. He grabs a chair and argues with the ref on the stage. Then Darby hit a pop-over stunner and a coffin drop from the entrance tunnel. Hangman swings Darby around in the ring from a sleeper hold, which was
Mhm.
pretty nice. The lights go out temporarily, and I said lights out match.
On purpose, not on purpose.
Definitely not on purpose.
Don't think so.
Cool, because they didn't
Just
do anything.
happened?
And then, like,
I know, but
Excalibur
it's
made
just like
note
it's
to,
gonna
like-
happen once every couple weeks.
I
and
don't
then
think so.
There's something.
I don't think so.
I feel like it was just an accident.
I think so. Steel stairs get moved beside the ring. Darby goes for a crossbody off the steps. Hangman catches him, then rams him in the post in like the front slam position. Slams him on the apron. Powerbomb on the apron 3 times from Hangman. Then a fall
Even
away.
though it was so short, they looked super impactful.
And a fall
somehow.
away slam onto the steps, like the
Nasty.
actual steps.
Yeah, like not on the top, a nice safe landing on the top. But
Darby
into the
has no
steps.
regard for his spine.
No,
It's
he
horrible. Then an avalanche follow-away slam from Hangman after the commercial break. Absolutely just hucks
Launched
Darby
him.
across the ring. It looked awesome.
Yeah.
Just absolutely chucked him. Wasn't that cool moonsault slam Hangman does, but just chucked him. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, he hasn't done that.
He's
lately.
done that. That move was awesome.
It is.
Who else does that? I feel like
Grimes.
Grimes. Well, he does like the standing one though. Remember?
Yeah.
Kind of like
Oh,
not,
yeah, he
not like
does.
the standing Spanish Fly,
Coming
but it's
off the
like kinda
ropes
like
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Darby hits a suicide dive with Hangman seated on the stairs. Darby whips Hangman with the belt, followed by a shotgun dropkick and a coffin splash in the corner. Hangman avoids another one. Code red from Darby for 2. Hangman like beautifully caught a coffin drop attempt into a sleeper hold, like
That
just
was clean.
flush.
Yep.
Darby countered into a pin for 2. Darby went for a buckshot, but Hangman clocked him with a lariat for 2. Just absolutely nailed him. Then last high powerbomb from Hangman for 2. 2 dead eyes, like he
That looked
hit
really
a
good.
dead eye, which looked, the camera angle was nice, but he hung on, then he did another one, and Darby just like crumpled. Then he went for a buckshot, Darby collapses. Hangman went for rolling elbow, Darby countered, and lightning quick got a roll up for the win. Then Hangman kind of had a rageathon after the match.
Yeah. Really good match. I still think there's probably a better one between these
There's
two.
definitely a better one here, but I really enjoyed it for what it was.
Me too. And it was the classic, like Hangman controlled 85% of it, and then Darby somehow snuck out a
You're
win.
just
Kind
like
of
murdering him at the end.
kind of protects Paige because he did look dominant, and then it was sort of he got sort of snuck in a pinfall, right? So pace was really fast, then slowed down when Paige was in control, which makes sense because he's a heel and he wants to slow Darby down, right? And then things picked up again. Darby sold like hell, as he always does. Got the crowd behind him. Really good 20-minute main event. Strong win for Darby. And Paige looks strong in
Yeah,
defeat as
I'd
well
like them
here.
to run this back at some point. Again,
Yeah.
it's so weird. It just feels like in the grand scheme of AEW, considering these guys have been around like
Yeah,
the entire time, it's crazy we've never seen it.
I agree.
It feels like we have.
No, I thought it was a pretty good main event.
hmm Pretty good. Like that's literally what I wrote. Pretty good main event. I enjoyed it. It was a little slower than I expected, but I guess it fits with heel Hangman right now,
Right.
especially in the ladder sets where he was just killing Darby over and over and just beating him up. It's just so unnecessary. Like Darby did nothing to him. It reminds me of Trent and Cassidy, which they kind of stopped.
What do you mean?
Trent and Cassidy.
Oh yeah, Trent's gone.
He's with Callis now, but like no, it's the
Exactly the
conglomeration,
position I figured when he would go solo, right?
which is weird because I thought the Callis thing would save him from that.
No.
And it just happened anyways.
Yeah.
I liked how brutal Hangman was though. The apron power bombs, follow slam on the stairs, avalanche slam, double dead. It's just all nasty. Perfect against Darby, who's just gonna take it and make it look awesome. Darby did his usual thing. He took most of the offense, but he got some cool stuff too, and then he eked out a win. Angry Hangman gets angrier, or Hangry Man, if you want to call him that. And they could run this back anytime. Won't complain. But it was a perfect good main event. But I definitely agree. There's another gear we can shift into for
hmm
sure.
So overall, I thought this was a good show. A fun but meaningless opener, I would say. A really solid main event. Bookended a pretty good show in between. I enjoyed the brief Mariah May interview. The Fletcher promo I thought was awesome. Random trios match was really fun. Danielson swerve in ring was good, right? So like Learning Tree was kind of not great, and
Oh, I hate it.
Willow
Still hate
Stat
it.
was solid but a bit strange. But I thought the show moved really quickly. There wasn't anything other than Learning Tree that was really. I went B plus because I thought like the segments were strong,
Yeah.
right? Like with Fletcher and
More so
Swerve
even
and
just that the major
Danielson
ones didn't really miss.
and Mariah
'Cause
May.
Jericho wasn't a major part of this
No.
show. Because that's what really hits the show sometimes is when Jericho's like one of those major in ring ones, right?
And Monet was good. You get the Camille debut. So I thought this was a B plus show. I
For
enjoyed
sure.
it quite a
I
bit.
think book ended by some solid matches. I like those both. The trios match was fun. Segments like Osprey and Fletcher both nailed it. Danielson and Swerve both nailed it. Monet was solid. Jericho makes me want to punch the TV.
Don't. I paid for it.
Well then you talk to Christopher. And yeah, like I thought most of this was pretty good. I enjoyed it. The women's match was also solid, just lacked a bit
It just
that
felt
we were
weird
looking for.
to
But
me.
like in ring is still perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So I agree, it was a B plus show, pretty good. Yeah.
Very happy with it. All right, so now we'll shift gears, take a break from the analysis, and get into a little bit of trivia in a segment we call Off the Top of His Head. Okay, so this worked out beautifully for me today because I wanted to find. My idea was to go to the highest rated SummerSlam matches according to Cage Match. So as I Googled that, it seems that the Sportster, pretty recently too, July 19th of this year, did that for me. So credit to them. We're going to talk, and it's funny because I usually do 15 questions. They have 14 matches, so that's pretty darn close. And I like it as well because I can give you the event first, and then if you want, they have like a little almost tagline summarizing it, which can be a pretty good hint, right? Because if there's multiple really good matches. So, starting at number 14, this got an overall rating of 8.35, and it is from SummerSlam 2003. Let me know if you'd like a hint.
Angle and someone.
Correct? Angle and
Lesnar.
Lesnar is correct.
I figured.
So the hint would have been stuff like this. Great Ruthless Aggression era feud had WrestleMania rematch at SummerSlam. So that would be helpful, right? That would probably help you. All right, so 13 received a 8.79, and it is from SummerSlam 1991. Going back.
Perfect and Brett.
Correct.
That's the only notable match from that I could possibly think of.
So the hint would have been one of the first truly great SummerSlam matches made the Intercontinental belt more relevant.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 12. So now we are looking at 8.81, and that is from SummerSlam 2001. If you'd like a hint, let me know. Good hint.
Rock and Booker.
No. Best singles rivalry from failed invasion storyline had best match.
RVD
here.
and Hardy.
No.
Austin.
Correct.
No, not Booker.
Austin and
Angle.
correct.
No.
I don't remember that one, but that sounds like it'd be good.
I don't want to say. I knew it was Booker because I knew Booker and Rock had the WCW title match.
Number 11 at 8.88. SummerSlam 2016.
Rollins Balor,
No.
Cena Styles.
Correct. So it's basically
guessed that one
saying
first.
this hint would be too helpful. Cena putting over Styles clean gave WWE a new top main eventer.
I feel like that's just telling me what match it is.
Yeah, that's why I said the hint was a little too aggressive there.
I don't know if that's really a hint at that point.
This one you'll get also 8.88 SummerSlam 1995.
Michaels and Razor.
Yes.
That's the only. It has to be the only notable match from that because that's like one of those notoriously bad years. Because that's the show with Diesel versus Mabel.
Ooh. Said WWE selling rematch of first ever ladder match helped carry pay-per-view event.
Oh, that would just give it away completely.
Number 9 at 8.93 SummerSlam 2009.
Punk and Jeff Hardy.
Correct. Legendary
TLC.
feud peaked with classic ladder match for World Championship.
TLC.
Nice. Where are we? Number 8, 8.94 SummerSlam 2011.
Punk Cena.
No. Epic World Championship feud ended with
Orton and Christian.
violent hardcore match. Yeah, they had great chemistry.
That's what
I don't find Orton that stimulating a lot of times, but he and Christian, something about Christian, man, that guy's fantastic.
Vince wanted a blue dot on his face.
That's right. SummerSlam, 9.03. We're over the 9 threshold now. SummerSlam 1992.
Brett and Davey Boy.
Correct.
Has to be.
WWE's biggest match ever for a UK pay-per-view.
I mean, it's not a high bar when they just do glorified house shows there for their pay-per-views forever.
Yes, they
I
did.
guess, well, now it could be given the run for its money with Gunther and Sheamus, I guess.
Because I listened to Attitude Era, and they're a UK podcast, and they always complain like the UK
Insurrection
shows,
and, like,
yeah,
Rebellion,
were all
yeah.
useless, basically.
They'd always bust out Tiger Ali Singh.
9.10 from SummerSlam 2002.
Brock and Rock.
No.
Trips and Sean.
Yes, one of the greatest
Again,
comeback
I
matches.
keep picking the wrong one. Like, I don't know why I don't. Think
Yeah,
that
but
first.
you're pretty close. You're right there. Number 5, 9.15, SummerSlam 2008.
2008. That's not. Oh, Edge and Taker.
Correct.
That's the one. The Hell in a Cell match.
It says Hell in a Cell stipulation perfectly for major pay-per-view.
And then after the match, Taker put him through the ring and got lit on fire. He sent him to hell.
Straight to hell.
Straight to hell.
Number 4, 9.17, SummerSlam 1994. I was your age.
Brett Nolan. Cage
Correct.
match?
That's right.
Yeah.
Paid off a heated sibling rivalry with iconic steel cage match. Look at that cage. So low,
Big old blue
so
bar.
blue, and it's like 8 feet high.
Yeah.
They could basically just jump over it. Number 3, 9.27, SummerSlam 2000. Take a guess.
TLC.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's the first one, right?
That is the first one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say best one, but I don't know if that's true. I don't remember. I know they're all pretty
I would.
pretty damn fun.
Dude, I'd say it's either that one or the second one. But the second one's the one with the spear spot. So I don't know if like the notoriety gets it there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
that
it's Mania
spot was it.
X7 too.
Yeah.
So that might bump it up.
True. That's the best Mania ever.
That's what I hear.
9.28. This is number 2, second last one. SummerSlam 2013.
1, 2 matches. Cena, Bryan.
Cena Bryan is correct.
Okay, it's either that or Punk Lesnar. Because
Cena Bryan.
I hear really good things about that too.
Look at Cena getting a 9.28.
That match people love.
Yeah, Cena had good matches, man. He took a lot of heat,
He
but
did.
with the right people, he was good. All right, number 1 match in SummerSlam history, according to this, a cage match / Sportster, I guess. 9.35 is a SummerSlam 2013.
Is it Punk Lesnar?
Punk Lesnar, they're saying, is the best ever.
Battle
Battle of Heyman guys saw their chemistry living up to dream match hype.
People love that match. I've never seen it.
I'm sure I did, but I don't
I was
remember.
back.
I don't remember things.
Mutton chops Punk.
Exactly. The picture on here is him with the mutton chops.
That was not a look.
Hitting a high knee to Lesnar. Anyways, amazing. You crushed that. Went by pretty quickly. Thanks to Sportster for curating that for me. But now we'll get back into talking about wrestling. Anything notable from the week, anything we watched, we call it high spots and rest holds. So starting it with Raw, I watched it again. Never in one sitting because I've always said 3 hours is too much of anything. Again, not Like I was really enjoying Raw for 3 weeks, a month. Still not disliking it, but definitely not as strong as it was then. So I think if you have any contributions, let me know.
I don't have anything written down.
Show started with Punk, Drew, and Rollins again. I think they started out last week as well. Did you see Rollins' referee shirt? So it's like tailored with puffy
I
sleeves.
can't imagine that's what he actually wears, but honestly,
I
I
think
wouldn't
he
be
might.
surprised.
And he was in like zebra skin boots, which I'm not sure he'll ref in. But basically, he's kind of like, I can do whatever I want as a referee. If I want to count fast, I'll count fast. If I want to give you 20
Yeah,
seconds,
the referee regulations he gave aren't really like it's like kind of
it just sounds like it's going to allow them to do whatever they want, right? To make this,
just pseudo.
which makes sense because
Yeah.
the build to this has been pretty awesome. Even though we're not Punk fans, like this story has been really good. There was a line I thought was weird because Rollins said he volunteered to be the ref because these two guys have scared off all the other refs. So I get that Drew lost his mind and took out a couple refs, right?
I
But
guess then Punk
how many times has that happened in
Punk
WWE?
cosplayed a ref though. I
And
don't know if
people.
that matters.
So anyway, I really enjoyed Drew in this. At one point when Punk's like addressing Rollins, Drew is kind of annoyed, like, you need to worry about me, dude, right? Like you don't need to worry about the referee. I'm gonna kill you, kind of thing. So I thought that was cool. Um, and then he was like, Rollins better be prepared to stop the match because Drew won't stop until Punk's heart does, which I thought was a good line. And then he said he's getting paid a lot of money to do something that he would gladly do for free, which I thought was pretty funny too.
I love how mean that is.
Punk's rebuttal was fine as well, but I thought Drew was the star of this. And I'm looking forward to this match because the build has been really good for it, right? Like you can really believe that these two guys do not like each other at all and that Rollins is kind of waiting his turn, I guess, sort of thing.
And
So
McIntyre's justified, Punk is not.
that's the way I kind of see it, right? And yes, we're biased because we don't enjoy CM Punk, but
also I'm just kind of trying to think logically here.
Drew makes a lot of sense in what he's
Yeah.
saying. The Judgment Day Clubhouse got trashed. They assume it's Liv, obviously, and then
I also think so.
apparently people noticed that Balor's stuff was in a pile and unharmed.
I feel like it is still Liv.
He and
Because
Liv are
I
in
don't know
cahoots.
why Balor would trash it, but I do believe they're in cahoots. Yes, I think them and McDonough leave. Dom maybe joins them. I'm unclear as to whether Dom leaves Ripley or not, but I definitely think Balor and JD do.
Yeah, I think it ends up with Rhea and Priest as faces and maybe going on their own. I don't know.
Yeah, and then I'm unclear if Dom stays with them or not. Like just because
It's been a pretty good story as well, to be honest.
I think so.
And Liv's really stepped up, right? So
not in ring.
Something I didn't enjoy is the Creeds are made to look like goobers again at the hands of Wyatt Six.
It's
And
tough because like I'm glad they're
also-
putting stock into the Wyatt Six, but
Yes,
I just don't like that it comes at the expense of the Creeds because it's like they're trying to establish two new factions at the same time. And they're doing a good job in one end, but then it comes at the cost of the other.
and they also had to sell for Otis's like comedic offense.
That
right
never
before,
makes
'cause
anyone
there
look
was a
good
match
ever.
going on there. So the Wyatt Six come out, or three of them. They unmask, and I'm just shocked by how different Dexter Loomis looks.
like beard and like
He's always gone
long
the clean
dreads.
cut sort of, and now he's like
Rob Zombie.
crazy look. Yeah, a little bit, right?
And then
So-
apparently the X on his head is like Kevin Sullivan reference.
Is it? The Creeds get
believe.
taken out by Uranagis and a running crossbody.
And
So
then they
devastating.
powerbomb I think Loomis on the
yes. And just the problem for me is they are nowhere. The Creeds, that is, are nowhere near established enough, especially as heels, to keep having this happen and not be hurt by it.
to take this and,
Right?
like, shake it off.
Right.
Gable kind of can.
They're
'cause,
not
like,
established as anything. They're
Gable's
just
been
like a
around.
newly healed team that just gets their butts kicked all the time right now. So I'd hope for better for them.
or like then now everyone here on after has to also get their butts kicked in equal fashion. Just so that it's not like, oh, the Creeds suck.
right.
It's like
It's not
the
just
Wyatt.
them, it's the Wyatt Six.
Yeah,
are good.
right. Like you know what I mean.
So, and before that, the Creeds did beat Otis and Tozawa. It was like a double back suplex off the second rope, which I thought was,
Mid.
yeah, not the best finisher. What else I thought I liked Sheamus and Bronson Reed were having a pretty good hoss fight that ended with a Reed tsunami. Go ahead.
He done.
So
Shillelagh.
Pete Dunne showed up with an attack Sheamus with a shillelagh, and we'll get to his
I like his I
Rationale.
like how amused he is.
with his rationale for why he did it. Couple notes: Sheamus's running knee looked awesome in this. He also hit an avalanche white noise to Bronson Reed, which is no joke, right? So that looked impressive.
You calling him fat?
Good hard hitting action. They can return to that if they want to, right? The finish was screwy.
They
so,
did return to this. They
yeah,
did it 2
this
weeks
was
ago.
the return to it.
Yeah.
Um,
which is a little Vince-ish to me, like just like because like these three are all feuding, so you just run this match back.
yeah,
I mean, if you really want to go there, 3 weeks ago we had Dunn versus Reed, right? Which is how this all started. Because Sheamus came after, and then last week they tried to do Dunn and Reed again. Obviously, Sheamus beat up Dunn,
yeah.
but like you know what I mean. They tried to
Yep.
like. So I'm just saying.
So Jey Uso beat Carlito with the spear, and Carlito spit apple everywhere because he had taken a bite of it.
That's fine. I don't care about Carlito. I guess he factors into the Judgment Day stuff
I think he sucks in ring. I don't think he's good. I don't know if I'm remembering him as better than he was because
he probably was. He was like that was like I think he was done in 2009, so his prime was probably like 2 decades ago.
I thought this was really bland.
I think he debuted in 2004.
Jey Uso doesn't do anything.
That's not going to help anybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you hear Vega's nickname for Deville's group?
Was it something forehead related for
Team
Deville?
Forehead? Which I mean, it's mean, but when you look, you go, okay, Baszler's got quite a forehead. Okay, Zoe Stark's got quite a. Oh, yeah, Deville has quite a forehead. So, anyways, it was backstage, and then those three show up, and it actually is a good attack. It's like Stark holds Vega's arm up against the wall like this, and then Baszler just boots it. It actually looked pretty good.
Baszler should be the solo.
Karrion Kross, this was kind of lame. Pinned Woods with the final testament.
Sorry, did you say Cross and lame in the same? That doesn't make sense.
Again, like bland is the word I use for this.
What? Cross?
And so Raw's really hit and miss, right? The hits are great, and the misses are
Karrion Kross.
The misses are kind of boring, but not terrible like they used to be.
Karrion Kross is terrible.
He's just bland. He's just there.
No good.
So I think it's an improvement overall because the bad stuff isn't as bad and the good stuff is way better.
Talk about forehead. He has forehead.
Loomis gets his vignette. I don't know if I put this in the right place or not because I kind of went back to it. And it's visually cool and like VHS.
It was cool sounding whatever, but felt more
pointless.
Felt more Wyatt Family than Wyatt Six.
Right. It's like cryptic nonsense like Nikki Cross's was.
And it's because like I think what irritates me is with like obviously none of them were ever going to be good as good as Rowan, but literally each of the other ones have faction history you can draw upon and make it work.
You could do better than this.
Sanity, The Way,
yeah,
Schism.
Yeah. I guess maybe they feel like they're referring to things the average fan doesn't know about, which is probably true. You have to be an NXT nerd to. You could show clips.
Like you could splice.
You have the library.
I agree. I don't think that's a valid enough excuse. I feel like they could easily pander it a bit to casuals and like help us out. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying the bloom is off the rose already, but it's definitely not blooming like it was with the Howdy and the Rowan ones.
Yeah,
because those were like captivating stuff,
like segments of the year.
And this is like, oh yeah, this is when they were like bastardizing Bray's vision and making everything too cryptic, and there's nothing you can latch onto, right? I just want to grab onto something. And there's really nothing.
What they've still in Rise, at least, like they did Unmask, and there are real people.
Yes. So that's nice. They're not magical beings at this point.
Right. They're less like the puppets come to life and more akin to like when Rowan and Strowman used to wear the sheet masks.
It's like they're people who can relate to the puppets or the issues or whatever. They
right,
aren't the
or
puppets.
what those puppets stood for, right? Or like you know, like because in the crypticness of this one, there's something about Mercy, right? Because he's got the buzzard mask, right?
Yeah.
Mercy the buzzard. So Waylon Mercy, that stuff. So at least, it's like there's something they could latch onto, I guess. And Huskus the pig for Gacy, I don't know how that.
We'll see. Maybe his will be better. I don't know, but
I feel that
started with two amazing and now two.
I feel it follows suit with these two because if they were gonna draw on the faction history, they should have done that already.
Yeah.
Unless they're gonna like follow up, but it's like why aren't we doing that now?
Why are we doing that now? So just quickly, Breaker, Gunther, Zayn, and Priest all get little videos talking about their SummerSlam matches spread throughout the show. I thought
people will win, people will lose.
Gunther's was pretty great.
Was he racist again?
No, but he's such a haughty, like Haught. Why? Sorry,
okay.
Haug. Yeah, haughty. Look it up if I'm using it correctly. It means, I think, like just really condescending and like arrogant.
Arrogantly superior and disdainful.
Yeah, so he is haughty which is a word when my first year in my current job at a different location, the group of us use that word a lot. Haughty. So he's doing a great job
Dottie.
because it's believable, right? He is better than everybody, so
He's better than Priest.
he's warranted, and so I thought his was really good. Everybody else's were,
I think Priest's
standard
run has
stuff.
been the quintessential mid.
Yeah. Liv Morgan is outside burning her Dom memorabilia in front of a huge like tractor trailer with Dom's picture on it, like one of the WWE. So I thought that was kind of funny. Her mascara is running. She looks like she's a mess. She says at SummerSlam she'll complete the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour when she beats Rhea Ripley. She's going to stand in the
I
ring
think so.
with her arm raised, and she hears those three words, Women's World Champion. I like this simply because I'm not entirely sure what's going on and who's aligned with who, right? Like there's something going on with Judgment Day
Balor.
that's going to play out probably. So I think it's entertaining still. I think Liv is somehow killing it. And please, a strong.
Don't have her wrestle.
No, for people like us, a strong in ring performance from her at SummerSlam would be huge. Because
That's
I'm
true.
on board character wise, right?
Yeah, I think character wise, she's won me over a little bit.
So if you can just give me like a good to very good
Ripley
in-ring
is
performance.
really quality, so
Ripley's
rely
good.
on her. for
Yes.
that.
So I'm hopeful anyways. So we had JD McDonough and Carlito attack Sami Zayn to cause a DQ in Zayn's match against Dominic Mysterio. Because I think it was Carlito was supposed to take care of Zayn and he went because he's an idiot and he went and made a match instead. He actually plays a pretty good idiot. I'll give him that.
He does.
I just don't want to see him wrestle.
He's like kind of like the Judgment Day affiliate right now, kind of like McDonough used to be.
Yes, he's not all the way in kind of thing. It's like R-Truth, but not as dumb and more directly in.
Yeah.
Jey Uso helps out. Braun attacks Zayn, but Zayn fends him off and stands tall, which is usually a sign, right, for the SummerSlam. If you're a wrestling fan, the guy that stands tall on the Go Home show usually isn't your
Dies.
winner, but we'll get to our picks a bit later. So we did have Team Forehead take on Lyra Valkyria, Kaden Carter, and Katana Chance. And long story short, it was the Zoda
So
Sleep
stupid.
or whatever it's called.
The Zoda,
That's Poison Rana.
C360.
Credit to my boys over
the
at Poison
Zoda
Rana.
sleep is awesome.
Zoda Sleep, the heels win. So again, I thought this was standard, pretty bland. The crowd would agree with me. They didn't have much of a reaction to this. It's like a contrived mid-card feud with like mismatched parts, right? And no heat to this.
Oh, because Baszler should be a solo.
And just Lyra too,
I know.
thrown with the Rave Girls. I don't get it. And so, did you see who came down after this?
Damage control.
Yeah,
I heard they got babyface.
sudden
yeah.
baby faces. So Io hits a moonsault to the floor on everybody after they clear the ring. So like, remember Damage Control and Io for weeks has been talking about we need a big change. And
There you go.
I was hoping Io Sky's going like full evil whatever and it's going to be amazing. Nope, we're going like generic.
That was a dumb
babyface
idea you
stuff.
just had. That was dumb.
And so with the status of DeVille's group that isn't so strong, like this seems like a step back for it. They were a big deal for a while. And now it's like, okay,
Baszler.
we snapped our fingers and your baby faces to go against this new heel group. Cool.
Jeez.
So later we learned that Dakota Kai will face Sonya Deville next week.
Why is Sonya Deville?
So they're going to start the mix and match, right? That wrestling loves to do. These two, then a tag match, then whatever.
This one
Like
and these
right.
two
We're getting
and
that.
7.
Main event was Gunther and Balor. They had a very good main event match
I saw
there.
Balor got pasted.
He was alone by choice since Priest and Ripley are saying they want to go it alone at SummerSlam because heels do that, I guess.
Man,
Priest isn't really. into it.
we both know what's gonna happen.
So Balor passed out from a sleeper with body scissors from this one after 13 minutes. Priest comes out and then he and Gunther brawl uncontrollably to end the show. So that was your go
Did
home
they
Raw.
ring the bell?
I can't remember.
Well,
Maybe.
then that's why
Their
they
own
didn't-
fault.
That's why they didn't stop fighting.
Yep. NXT from Tuesday, Great American Bash Week 1. I thought a really strong show. Starts with Hank and Tank comedically breaking into the Performance Center because they're going to sort of like be the hosts, even though they're not supposed to be, I guess. They're
Ah.
just going to go rogue and do it themselves.
That is hilarious.
So it's kind of cheesy. They're like breaking in with the credit card and messing with the lights and the power. And it's NXT, they're trying something, right? And Hank and Tank, the performance actually, because they're sporadically in the show, wasn't bad. They're kind of funny, but like, I don't know. It's not my thing. You know what I mean? Lash and Jakara Jackson took on Isla
The
Dawn
witches.
and Alba Fire for the women's tag team championships. And this is the commentary let us know that this is a social media rivalry so far. And I'm like, awesome.
Other
Love
than
that.
the promo last week.
Love that. Mike Rome's hair is insane. It's like if my hair
Just got poofed up.
similar style 3 times as long and I styled it straight up in the air. It looks crazy.
I can just picture it.
Anyways, champs attack from behind during introduction, so I know who the heels are. That was nice. There's a tarantula super kick combo from the champs, but the kick kind of whiffed a little bit. The champs control Jakara Jackson because she can't wrestle, so she just has to take offense, I guess, until Lash cleans out and Jackson actually dove onto the team on the outside. I thought Lash looked good in a stretch, dominating with power moves. Then there's a bit of a miscommunication with Fire before a move out of the corner. Cool wheelbarrow into a cutter combination by Metaphor for a near fall. Lash gets taken out on the floor by a running double knee from Dawn that looked pretty good. Champs hit their finisher, which I forget what it is, on Jakara Jackson for the win.
I don't know.
Pretty good overall. Couple issues, including you could hear people talking through spots, especially Lash, but not a huge deal. It is developmental, right? I thought the action, some of the near falls were pretty good. And I honestly think if Lash keeps improving, they have something because she's different, right? She is big and powerful, but not like, it's not like she's Tamina or Dewdrop or whatever. Oh my God. Piper Niven, right? It's different. So Ethan Page comes out to mess with Oro Mensah because that's a feud we're having to deal with. But Mensah rolls him up and Lash and
Again.
Jackson count the pinfall. So we're
dumb.
still doing this. This would be a
Stupid.
fine mid-card story, not for a championship, but like misplaced again.
I mean,
Is it just because it was supposed to be Dar and they just went, yeah, just do what Dar was supposed to do?
I feel like it's dumb even for Dar.
I
wouldn't
have
like
loved
it with Dar either.
I think maybe Dar was going to be the challenger and the story would have been different.
Maybe, but
I'd
this
like
is
to
not a
think.
good story. Because I feel like while I did like the Heatwave finish, if you look at it purely like
I
he
did
won
too.
the title by accident and he's been pinned 3 times by a
Yes.
nobody.
Right.
Page doesn't look great as a
He
champion.
does not.
Like
And-
I like that finish, but
And
if you
how
just-
much it bothers him, too.
Yeah, and if you look at it purely like that he accidentally won the title and then he's been getting pinned by a guy repeatedly, on paper that looks horrible.
Yeah.
And then he's like throwing a fit about it. I mean, I would get angry too, but like it's so stupid.
It's not my favorite. What else do we have? Cedric and Spears are backstage having a mentor off, basically. Like, I think Cedric was talking to a bunch of younger guys, and Spears is like, oh, you're giving them advice? And anyways, Jensen storms in and can barely be controlled by Spears because he's a maniac. And it's going to lead to Jensen challenging Cedric to a match on the show this week. Then we get Hank is interviewing Tavion Heights about all of his amateur wrestling accomplishments. And he points out Heights he's like, yeah, but Tony's an accomplished wrestler too. Calls him a shooter. He is. Tony's an amateur wrestler as well.
Oh no, I meant accomplished.
Yeah, amateur.
Okay.
Amateur. I thought Heights sounded fine, and honestly, I was really impressed with him at Slammiversary. So there's a lot of me this week going, they may have something with this person because I think Heights is a little bit intriguing at this
That
point.
to Pete Dunne, I was like, they might have something with him.
Tank is then with Tony D. Tony also respects Heights' accomplishments, and he just says, I don't do it every 4 years. I do it every day. Kind of like, I'm not Olympics and Pan Am Games and stuff. I'm every day hustling. Then my note says, Pete Dunne let Jack talk.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
I loved it too.
Perfect Bruiserweight. I actually put it in the short list, so I actually did talk about it in detail there, so I'll flip to that. But it was perfectly done for Dunne. Okay. It's like the exact Bruiserweight I've been waiting 2 years for.
Yeah.
It was perfect. His reasoning for attacking Trick was perfect. Like he was talking about how tricking like upset and he can't handle a small setback. He's
Like
not
all
tough enough
you
to just figure it out.
It's kind of like all you young people can't handle setbacks.
And you can't
You need
figure it
to
out.
figure it out and get
And
over
Dunn's
it.
been handling that his entire career.
Right.
And he told the story about getting like jumped on a bus on the way to the show, which I
Yeah.
don't know if that's real, but it sounded real.
Sounded real.
He sounded menacing. He sounded badass. Exactly how I think he
It's
should
like
be
I've been
presented.
wrestling since I was 12 and I was getting my ass kicked in rough areas and blah, blah, blah.
I thought it was amazing. Like it was just it was exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
And what he can be.
And it's like you guys get plucked from your athletic careers and placed in the performance center and you get all this treatment and like
it was
you can't handle
this
adversity.
is Pete Dunne to me.
Yeah.
And it's the Dunne I've been waiting for since Butch arrived, which reminds me, you also mentioned that. He talked about the Brutes. He talked
did.
about the last time he went to someone
Which
for
is
advice.
why he's problems
he
with
got
Sheamus.
stuck with a stupid nickname, and they even like had they queued up Samantha Irvin introducing Butch. So like I thought that was really well done, like addressing that in a kayfabe sense.
And then he's like, and then Sheamus was gone, and then Holland was
And
gone,
Ridge
and then
ran off,
Fate
yeah.
got hurt.
And so yeah, and like the editing on that was really cool, like having them like black out with done
Yeah.
in color still. And the line I loved, he said like when he was talking about, she said, "You'd be bitter too."
Yeah.
And that was cathartic for me, I think, because like just I never loved Butch. I hated it. It was one of my favorite vignettes of the year for sure. I just thought it was amazingly done, and it sucks because I feel like Dunn loses next week.
I do too.
But as long as they can parlay this to momentum on Raw, I think I'll live with it.
Yeah.
Because I understand.
I'm fine if he stays in NXT and does this for a while too.
That's true. I understand wanting to get Trick over. I do think it sucks at being at Dunn's expense. But this was amazing. I think his motivations made sense. Everything was just, his delivery was amazing. It's like, this is Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
This is what
I'd
we
like
should
to
have
see
been.
him face Femi, maybe.
That'd be kind of cool. This is what we should have been doing for the last 2 years. It like, and you said, I remember you texted me, it was amazing. I'm like, and I told you it was always this easy.
It was.
It was never.
I said
difficult.
He looks and sounds like a legit badass, and he has believable motivation for the character he's
just
doing right
real.
now. And this is how you explain a gimmick change, right? Here's why I was doing stupid stuff before.
Here's why I'm not doing stupid stuff. And
Right?
like, it was never hard to get him right. It's just Vince is stupid.
And he has so much more personality than people give him credit for.
He does.
Like, he has improved to the... Like, when he was first there, we loved him in ring and we loved his look, but we were like, he's not the best.
Ever since he came back in like 2020,
so much better.
His promos have been good. He's got like... He's like got that serious grit to him, but then like I always find that bit of charisma when he does like the shrug. I always enjoy. Just
that's
like,
his new thing, is to just be like,
and I just love him. And anyways, this was, I could rave about it forever, but it was pretty perfect for me. Like I just loved it. So
and then
much.
we see
it
Trick,
was the Dunn I wanted.
Trick's watching it on TV, and he says he'll whoop that ass next week. And I think, to me, it's kind of making Trick look a bit weak, because I don't think Dunn is wrong.
Dunn's not wrong,
right? And that's, the heel is right, and that's never really what you're going for.
Well, yeah, and like because what Trick had a minor setback, and he hasn't even like he said he's going for the title again, but he hasn't really, and like he's just been kind of whining about it.
I wish there was a chance Dunn wins this match. I don't think he does. But
no, unfortunately, but this was amazing.
Still awesome. Yeah, check it out if you haven't.
It makes my short list. I loved it.
Then it is the Heritage Cup Championship. It's Tavion Heights challenging Tony D'Angelo. Round one, they're just kind of feeling each other out. Basically a stalemate. Both men are going for the same moves at the end. And you see Ren Sinclair is cheering from the crowd. Round two, commercial, no picture-in-picture in Canada. So I get the final 18 seconds, and they're both up top. Tony hits a superplex, but time expires. Round three, Heights is selling a lower back issue as he tries to pick up Tony. We get a quick forget about it. Tony gets the first fall. Sinclair gets in the ring in between the rounds and is just berating Tavion Heights and slaps him across the face a couple times. And it does fire Heights up. So he comes out in round four on fire, lands a huge, like, twisting belly to belly for the pin. So it's tied 1-1. And now Sinclair's, you can see her out on the floor telling Dempsey, like, you need to add me to your group. She's very interesting and entertaining right now.
I always heard decent things about her work in NWA, but again,
this is by far the best stuff she's done here. Round
well,
5.
The other stuff she did was wear pants halfway.
That's right. Heights is in control of round 5 for a bit, but Tony takes over, hits a sequence ending with a spine buster, and it's over. So this one felt really short because I got no round 2, right? And then 3 and 4 were cut short.
You're always missing around.
3 and 4 were cut short by quick pinfalls, right? And then round 5, it was over. So I was kind of hoping that this was more competitive and longer and kind of a showcase for Heights because he did look really good in TNA. It wasn't really. And again, this is disappointing Heritage Cup stuff because we really liked it. What if you give that to Pete Dunne and let him run with it?
Absolutely.
His style's perfect.
Back when he was still Butch, he had that match with Dar last year that was really good.
Right.
No Mercy. I would like that. I do, as much as I don't trust main roster, I do kind of want Dunne to stick to doing stuff there just because I know it's a bigger stage for him.
But if he's like producing at NXT,
I guess so,
he might be there. You know what I mean?
He won't wrestle as much.
Anyways, social media stuff leads to a 6-woman tag. So it's Vice, Ruka, Petrovich will take on Jane, Nixon, Henley tonight. And you know I love watching social media videos on a TV show. So genius. And to be fair, I get that it appeals to tons of people, so I can handle it. But as a person who doesn't do social media, I don't need to watch social media on TV, but I also know I sound like old man yells
At
at
least
cloud.
it's
So
in like it's
you seen
less.
that Simpsons meme? Old man yells at cloud. That's kind of what I feel like.
At least it's like then you can't have the excuse of not seeing it. Is
True.
the theory? Because
That's
that's
fair.
what we do.
Because
With
otherwise, I would
some,
be like, I don't even know it happened.
yeah, like some
So
or like I
I
feel like
guess
we've
this
had
is a
that
better
thing with
option.
AEW before too. That might have been when it's like something on Dark.
Yeah. Then we get
back in the day.
the new vicious Brooks Jensen taking on
Jeans.
Cedric Alexander. Yeah, in jeans.
He's serious.
So again, no picture in picture for me. So this match is already underway. I could have missed 1 minute, 3 minute.
It
Could be.
started in picture.
Yep. No, I don't have picture in picture. So
No,
it
but, like,
started
it's-
in picture for America,
Yeah, that's what
and
I mean.
I got the match is already like
That's weird.
maybe a
That's
third.
just a weird move to do in general.
Could have
like,
been up to a third done
Right.
before I got there.
That's the weird thing to do then, because then you have cases like yours, right?
Yes.
Because not everyone's going to be able to see it.
Jensen hits a nice looking crosshair. He is looking more aggressive. Cedric hits a nice Michinoku driver. We get a top rope leg drop from Jensen. We get a gourd buster to Cedric onto the announce table, and then Jensen goes for that RVD twisting leg drop thing.
That he did to Javon.
Misses it and looks like he lands really hard on the table. It looked rough landing for him. Cedric throws him back in the ring, hits the lumbar check, which I still enjoy, for the win.
Oh, good for Cedric.
And I think the story is, I kind of missed it, but commentary pointed it out that Jensen didn't listen to Spears, and that cost him. So I think that's where we're going. Decent match, I guess. It was like 5 minutes long, and again, I missed some of it for a commercial. And Cedric looked better than last week. I thought he looked a little rough last week. This was much better. Did you watch the Javon Evans promo I sent you?
I did not.
How could you find a minute and 40 seconds in your day, right?
I had to watch the Dumb one again.
It was really good. It talks about him growing up a wrestling fan. His parents, his mom liked John Cena, and his dad was a Booker T guy. And then they got divorced when he was 6, and he was angry. And I think he specifically said watching Jeff Hardy by name, yikes,
I mean, he's in TNA, so
helped him get over that stuff.
that
True,
makes
they
sense. It's not off the table.
prohibited
now.
portal
Yeah.
is open.
Yeah.
So he says he would sneak into his neighbor's yard when they were gone because they had a huge trampoline, and he would have matches in there. And then he thought, what about stepping off that trampoline and chasing his dream for real? So good. This kid, man, he's really charismatic, and his delivery and the way he talks is really different. And he's just so relaxed and naturally cool. Super impressive for like what is he, 20, I think it is. So they really have something with this guy. If he fills out and gets a little bit bigger, like, he's going to be awesome. Joe Hendry is talking to a group of the NXT women backstage, and he has to leave them to go do his concert. And then Ashante Theodonis just swoops in and like takes the women. He goes, let's go see this concert, sort of thing. Rascals, I told you, are back in the treehouse, complete with the laugh track. They talk about the treehouse being magical because they're like, how is the treehouse? How are we in the treehouse on a Tuesday? Because they don't do Tuesday nights. But they said it's magical, and then they tease that they're going to smoke weed, but Wesley's like, we can't because it's PG. So they
Chuckle.
MSK point out that they never really lost the tag titles. And since Wentz pinned Axiom last week, they want a tag title shot, and they think they'd be cool to defend them across 2 companies. And Wesley's like, I'll text Axiom and set up the match for us. So that's where they leave it. It looked like they had a great time doing this.
Because it's not like there's 3 general managers or something.
No. Assistant to the assistant as well.
Whatever it is.
I thought they had fun doing this. I just thought it was fine, right? I'm sure it was a blast for them. The laugh track stuff is tough sometimes. It felt like a cheesy TNA segment on NXT, so I didn't know how to feel about that.
Yeah.
So Hendry has his concert. Did you see that?
No.
So the fans are singing his theme when he first gets out there, and then there's a little awkward thing because his guitar's out of tune, but luckily he can tune a guitar, so he fixed it really quickly. It was basically a song mocking Joe Coffey and Gallus in general. I didn't think it was his best work. It was fine. The audience seemed into it. It wasn't as good as the one he did with Top Dollar. Was funny.
That's awesome.
Right?
I like the Dango one was good too, I think.
It was. So he announces that he's going to do an encore and do one of his better known hits, but Gallus interrupt because they're mad. They beat down Hendry, pose over top of him, and then in a later segment close to the end of the show, Hendry's walking out of the building, cutting a really serious promo aimed at Joe Coffey.
I think I saw it. I don't remember much.
But like, okay, so you go out there and perform in front of 1,000 people, let's say, I don't really know, a parody song mocking a group of violent heels, and then when they get mad and attack you, you're like so surprised and upset.
I guess they started it kind of, but like,
But like what did you think they were gonna do? Just be like, haha, good job, you got us. Right? So I thought Hendry sounded really good with the serious bit, and he needs to sort of balance that out a little bit, right? But it's like, what did you think was gonna happen, bud? Exactly. Um, Hank and Tank are annoying Roxanne backstage. She tells them to go away so she can get ready to defend her title. And then Jada Parker walks by and says something like, yeah, the title you might not have much longer or something, because she was on her way to her
heel on
match.
heel.
So then we get the contract signing, not in the ring, but it's in Ava's office at a table. And Mensa does most of the talking for some reason, and I don't really remember what he was saying. Basically, Paige, I think, is taking him lightly, and Mensa's like the weird kid that nobody takes seriously, blah, blah,
Is
blah.
he?
I don't know. I feel bad for Paige because he looks weak in this to me. Now it's like the contract signing, this guy does all the talking when you're like a super good
When
talker.
has Mensa been the weird? Is he?
I don't know.
Like,
It's going from his childhood. I don't know. Jada Parker. I put Jada Parker versus one of the ones I never recognize. Brackets Kendall Gray of Bright Gray.
bright gray.
That's right. We are told Kendall Gray has natural math skills.
Axiom, female Axiom.
And then I'm like, did he say math skills? But in the context of what was going on, that wouldn't have made sense either. So I don't know where.
Female Axiom.
Maybe.
So
Parker is not very big. But she looks humongous. Like Parker's bigger than the tiny waif ones, but she's not like humongous.
Yeah.
But Gray is small. Anyways, Parker dominates early, including an inverted suplex. Bourne and Sinclair come down to harass Bright at ringside just randomly, just to recreate the spot where Gray comes over and belly to belly suplexes Bourne again. Just they'd wanted to do that again.
I smell a shady NXT romance coming.
And then back in the ring, Teardrop, that she called the Teardrop's the one where she lies them across the corner and drops her butt on them. Then a front suplex, then the hypnotic, and Parker picks up the win. Gray is an impressive athlete for sure, and I think
You impressed with her math?
Parker's a really good heel at the mid-card level for now, and if she can get better in ring, I
That's
think
why they have the North American title.
she's yet another one to watch.
She's next in line.
She could be. Ridge and Thea Hale are bonding backstage. Ridge says no one's throwing in the towel tonight and that Thea should do whatever it takes to win. Chase U show up. Hale shares with them that advice, and they obviously are not looking pleased about the do anything it takes. Like, you can't possibly cheat. We're Chase U sort of thing. Axiom is speaking Spanish to Wild and Mendoza. Nope. Wild and
Cruz del Toro.
Thank you. Cruz del Toro. Fraser walks up, wants to know what they're talking about, and Axiom says his speed match. Fraser's already annoyed because of the speed match.
I can tell, like, it almost seemed like Fraser's being sarcastic. His delivery was weird. Like,
He has a strange delivery always. Remember when he was doing the hard hitting home truths, and I was like, I don't understand.
I couldn't tell here if he was being sarcastic or not, because to me it sounded like he was.
Yeah, I don't know. Then Stone walks in with a contract for their match against MSK, and Fraser's more annoyed because Axiom made that match without consulting him, right? So as this story's dragged out, because it's been a really slow burn, I'm getting more into it. At first I was like, these guys have barely been together, right? They're cool.
Yeah.
Why are we? But now it's like, okay, they've been together for months.
Just got to build it there.
As we're doing this. So it could be, it could work, I guess. So then we get a trios match. It's Lola Vice, Carmen Petrovich, Sol Ruka against JC Jane, Fallon Henley, Jasmine Nix. So it's back and forth at the beginning with each woman getting to hit some offense and sell a little bit. I thought Nix seems a little rough still, but the three baby faces looked really good. I feel like NXT has a really strong women's division, like just bubbling under the surface. You know what I mean?
They have a good amount of
if
people.
a few people keep progressing, though.
Yeah, they just need to progress people.
The way they are. So this got a lot of time, like 13 minutes. Things started to go crazy in the second half. Things kind of broke down, and then it was like Ruka with a twisting moonsault onto a pile, heading into a commercial. Vice with like kicks to everybody. Ruka did her 450 clothesline to two people at a time, kind of glancing, but still. Triple hip attack by the faces to heels in different corners. Sit out powerbomb by Ruka for two. Tower of London perfect plex combination by Jane and Nix. That was pretty cool. Nix hit her Pele. Jane running forearm. Henley has this like pump handle cutter.
Decent. Yeah.
It looked kind of cool. to
Oh, I
Petrovic.
remember. It was kind of like a fisherman suplex, but then she lifted her over into a cutter. Yeah, it was decent.
And so she pins Petrovic for the win. I thought this was a really fun trios match, over delivered. Babyface team, I thought, looked really strong despite losing, and everyone got a chance to look good in this. I thought it was surprisingly entertaining. I was impressed with this match. Lonnie runs into Tatum Paxley backstage, who wants to play with her. Lonnie says she doesn't want to play with her dolls, so Paxley's asked if she can play with Lonnie's title
You're a
instead.
weird girl. Or
And Lonnie's
something.
like, when it comes to this title, I never play or whatever.
Oh, I can just imagine her saying that.
Paxley walks away, and you see Wendy Chu lurking in the background. Wendy Chu thing is done for me already. Like, she's cool in the ring. They need to do something else with her. I was not
Fail.
impressed. Main event was pretty awesome. And it was Thea Hale and
Oh
Roxanne
yeah, I
Perez
can't remember what it was.
for the women's championship. I really enjoyed this match. Roxanne's in control to start. She starts taunting Thea Hale, calling her a little girl. This fires Hale up. She goes on a run. Roxanne takes a moment out on the floor to call Chase You losers. Hale hits her with a dive, then a Hale Michinoku driver. Pop Rocks is countered into a backslide for a near fall. Then we get it's like this Kimura countered into crossface, countered back and forth, back and forth. Hale powers up, hits a roll through slam and a springboard senton for 2 in a really nice sequence. Perez has to use an eye rake as the ref is fixing the apron. Back suplex, but Hale goes back to the Kimura. They roll to the floor. Perez runs Hale into the steps. More submissions and counters. Crowd is really into it. Another crossface. Hale's inching towards the ropes for the break. Perez rolls through and transitions nicely into a Pop Rocks for the win after 12 minutes. I was really entertained by this. Excellent main event for an episode of NXT TV. Pleasantly surprised, like nothing happened. Ridge didn't tell Thea to cheat or anything. Chase
Right.
didn't
No,
do.
you did mention that to me.
I thought something, waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? Like I figure, Ridge is going to try and get her to cheat. It's going to cost her a win.
With Judgment Day.
So I don't know. These two seem to have really good chemistry, and intensity was high. Both women looked good. Hale was impressive with fast-paced stretches and babyface fire, and Perez using heel tactics throughout this. If this was a test to see if Hale can main event, then she passed, I think, because I thought this was pretty great. Probably her best
Put
match.
her hat in the ring at least if she's not winning here.
Perez picks up another quality title defense. I don't know what's left for her to do. She's really good.
I feel like the next PLE or two, they gotta figure something out.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have Julia and back hair on the horizon.
So I think after that, it's like you gotta move her up.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to talk about is TNA, and I only have a few things from that. I watched it all. Opener was
You loved it all.
good, but could have been better. It was Rascals versus Bailey, Trent, and Kushida. I thought it was a bit too short. I wanted more. Rascals won with Hot Fire Flame to 7. Thought it should have been longer. Felt like this was mostly a showcase for the Rascals, which makes sense as they're newly reunited, right? Not enough Bailey in this for me. Rosemary had a squash match to debut her new character that is virtually indistinguishable from most of her other characters.
I just know she has short blonde hair and it doesn't look good.
I think she's supposed to be darker and more vicious. What a departure.
Her hair is brighter?
What range?
Yeah.
So anyways, wasn't impressed. The system, I thought it was kind of funny because they're trying to assure us that they're still relevant, even though they don't have any titles except for Alicia. And they do seem a little lame now. It's like, you don't have anything now. You're just like telling us you're awesome. We don't have any evidence anymore. Ziggler and Mustafa Ali had a pretty good TV match. Nemeth won with Danger Zone.
World title.
So remember, I was surprised because I was like, why are they going to this on a TV show in a week when Ali's like an awesome heel for this company? And then you pointed out he's done there.
Yeah.
So then this made a ton of sense to me.
So yeah.
Yeah. Then the highlight of the year, right, was the PCO DeLander wedding, which you watched.
I did not.
You didn't watch any?
You asked me to, and I said no.
Oh.
I know. It's
So
surprising.
pretty much as bad as you would expect. So Rhino is the best man, and he's wearing his wrestling gear and then a tie. Zaya as the maid of honor, dressed in like a black dress. DeLander comes out with like the stereotypical Munsters hair, I think it is. Like anyways.
Like Elvira kind of thing?
Yeah. DeLander's vows are full of Frankenstein puns about electricity and other stupid things.
See why I didn't want to watch this.
PCO's vows are him grunting.
Okay.
The ring he has for DeLander is attached to a severed finger.
Take Marcus's thumb from Superstore.
And then this pure gold gets Marcus's was his thumb, okay? And it was put in the hummus.
Guacamole.
Guacamole, that's right. So It's interrupted by Matt Cardona's music hits. He comes out and he has a gift. He hits PCO with the gift, unwraps it, and it's a brick. And then he's screaming at Delander like, "You're supposed to be with me," which I
They
forgot.
were affiliated.
They
yeah.
were affiliated. So the segment was bad. The payoff was bad because it's Matt Cardona in 2024, which I'm kind of not needing. But
I think he's been injured for a while.
and we will circle back around to this wedding on our worst of episode, I have a feeling.
I feel like he will.
And then I don't know if you have anything from SmackDown as it just
I
happened.
does not.
Okay.
I guess I did see Fatu and Tonga won the tag title, so that's nice. But that sucks for DIY that they just
does.
I don't like that, but that's not really much. So that's all I.
It's
could
Fatu
think of.
belted up though.
Yeah.
Do
he
you have
does
figuring
deserve
out this week or no?
it. No, the only thing I wanted to mention was that I discovered that Takeshita's figure is a chase, and that
Yeah.
angers me greatly because now it will be virtually impossible for me to
You will
obtain.
seek it out.
But it'll be my white whale.
So I guess the last thing we'll do then this week is we will talk about preview and predictions for tomorrow. I guess it's today because it's after midnight right now. But August 4th, WWE PLE,
August 3rd.
SummerSlam. All right, so I put a bit of thought into SummerSlam. There's, I think, 7 matches, if I'm correct, right? So
I think so.
let's go.
First one I had was Logan Paul versus LA Knight for the US title, which is in Paul's home base,
I saw he tweeted something intolerant and awful. Again,
probably.
not surprised, but anyways.
Paul's had the title for a long ass time now. He hasn't done much with it, which I've seen people complain now because it's like been well over 200 days and he's only had blank
Right.
amount of title defenses. I get why he has it and why they want him with it, but I feel like it's the time's come, and also we need to finally give Knight something tangible. It's a little late, but I don't think it's completely too late, so I'm gonna take Knight.
I agree. I'm taking Knight mostly because of they need to reward him a little bit. He got himself over.
They didn't bury him like they used to
No.
do with people, but they didn't also capitalize
And
on
I don't
it
watch
well enough.
SmackDown, so I don't know if he's still over or not, to be honest.
I would assume
but
so.
I also think like Paul's had it long enough. You're right. He's never around, so let's just shift it on to somebody who's there. I think it's time
Yeah.
for LA Knight as well. Hate to agree with you, but I do.
Yeah, then Breaker versus Zayn for the Intercontinental title. I feel like Breaker has to take the title after failing already. You risk damaging the aura and the the momentum they built up for him,
I
especially
agree.
if they want him to be big. You gotta start strapping the rocket to him. And Zayn's good. I like him a lot, but
And Zayn stood
Breaker's
tall
time.
on the go home. Too.
Yeah.
So I think you have to do Breaker can't keep falling short.
Yeah.
Right? He has to.
otherwise you
come
get that
through.
choke arse label real quick.
And I think Zayn can lose it at
For
this
sure.
point. Yeah, I agree.
Bailey versus Nia Jax for the women's title. I hate her. I think she sucks. But I've seen some people high on Jax lately, and for some reason WWE seem to be too. Bailey hasn't had an overly notable run. I feel
She
like they're
has
gonna
not.
try their luck with Jax, much to my dismay. I don't want it. I think she sucks, but I'm gonna pick Jax.
I don't really know because again, this is SmackDown stuff.
I don't watch
watch
either, but I'm just going off of what I know.
I'll take Bailey just to be different, so we don't pick all.
Hey,
the
I hope
same
you're right. I
things.
don't like Jax.
And I do hope I'm right because I don't need. Although Bailey's seems to be just sort of spinning her wheels a little bit,
yeah,
right?
a little bit.
But I'll still take her.
Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley for the other belt, the women's world title.
Yep.
I feel like this is where we finally get the reveal of what Balor's been up to, and I think him and McDonough help Liv here. Where Dom lies, I don't know, but that's irrelevant. I feel like Ripley gets screwed one way or another, whether it's Balor and McDonough, or maybe Dom
Correct.
by accident. I think the Judgment Day drama continues. I think Liv's been doing good work. Ripley doesn't really need the title since she held it for like a year already, and what more can she really do? At least right now, right?
Yes.
When we have other things going on.
And I don't think you want to stop Liv's momentum right now. And yes, we're gonna get some sort of reveal of what's going on with Judgment Day. I agree that somebody's gonna help Liv or inadvertently hurt. Could be seemingly inadvertently hurt.
Yeah,
Rhea,
right?
But
Like,
we find out later
one
it
way
was
or another, I feel
intentional.
like.
I think so too. I'm
Yeah.
taking Liv to retain.
Punk versus McIntyre with Rollins.
This one's tough, man.
It is kind of tough, but I don't see Punk not winning.
In his first match.
Yeah.
It's his first match.
Other than the Rumble.
That's what's convincing me. I don't think he's losing his first singles match.
Yeah. I'd love to be wrong.
Me too. Because I think Drew is super momentum. His promos have been amazing.
And I saw
He's
Punk
been
say
right.
he's done with this after. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm afraid I can't see Punk going in and go, listen, and this guy's been killing it. Let's give him the win. Right? he
Who
talks
is that? That's not
he
Punk.
talks like he's Danielson, but he's not, right?
No.
At the end of the day, Punk's there for Punk, and Punk's gonna win his first match back, I feel.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, if he had his way and if he wasn't fragile, he would have won the world title at Mania instead of
Right.
Drew.
Right.
Anyways, speaking of that belt, Priest versus Gunther for that belt.
Gunther.
I feel like it's Gunther's time. Priest has
Me
been
too.
extremely mid, and I feel like you couple this with the expected Judgment Day drama.
Yes.
Priest is going to be occupied with other things,
Yes.
and Gunther needs it. If you're not going to give it to Drew, give it to Gunther.
The Priest experiment has run its course. Gunther is undeniable.
It was a fun experiment, but
Now's
not one
the
that paid
time.
off for
and
sure.
Gunther's gonna elevate that title, man.
Yeah. Now to the other belt. Cody versus Solo, which is a match I do not care about at all.
I can't
the
see a
Undisputed WWE
Universe
title.
Solo wins.
No, there's no Universe
Cody.
Solo wins. But also, making this Bloodline rules on SmackDown makes things crystal clear. Roman is 100% returning. He cost Solo the match because Solo's been on a rampage since
Right.
Mania. And then Cody retains. We get the Grand Bloodline Civil War that almost 100% culminates at War Games.
Yep.
That's fine.
I agree. It's Cody for sure. I don't think they're having Solo
I
Sikoa with their
question
major
even putting
belt.
Solo in a main event, not even having winning, just
Yeah.
putting him there. I just don't think he's like that interesting.
And I think that's like Roman's coming, right? Otherwise, this match will probably be a little underwhelming.
The second this is the main event, it's like when Christian Darby main event in Wrestle Dream and
Yeah.
Edge came out. It's like the second you know the placement on the card, you know what's coming because Roman cannot end the show.
Right. So is everything coming down to for us, Nia and Bailey, right?
believe
That's the
so.
only difference we have.
I believe so.
Wow. Huh? We'll see, I guess.
That's nice.
So that's tomorrow, right? It's on Saturday or today, I
Probably
guess,
record that.
technically. Yeah, we'll have to set that up because I should be back in time for it.
I'll be
And you
fine.
don't work, right? You don't work
12 to
late?
4.
Nice. Well, I guess we can have these conversations later and we'll wrap this episode up. So
Double
thanks,
banter.
thanks for joining us for episode 211. We will be back next week unless somehow we feel like doing SummerSlam ahead of time. It'll probably be tacked on to the beginning of 212 next week. Right. Oh, we could get rid of it. I like to sort of save a bit of time recording at night. But anyways, we'll be back here for sure next Saturday for 212. We hope you come back and bring some other people along with you. Appreciate any time you spend listening, watching us talk about wrestling. We'll see you back here next Saturday. And until then, everybody, take care.